Good afternoon, everybody. I don't know if anybody can hear me. I'm just getting it going here. Let's see what's happening here. Have we got volume? Can anybody hear me? Hello, hello, hello. Test. Okay, we're good to go. Good to go. We are good to go. And I'm going to post a link in the channel. And as people know, just click on that link to come. Give me a second to bring up the link. I always forget how to do this. Guests. Invite guests. StreamYard. There we go. And post a comment. There we go. Link is in the channel for Jack, for Niamh, and for Projekt Gemineye. So just click on that link, people. Follow the instruction. Jack's Trax, you know what to do. Projekt Gemineye, you know what to do. And Prog Nerd, just follow the instructions. Very simple. And we'll help you out. We'll get you on here. And let's do this. Everybody can hear me okay? Add to stream. Welcome, Mark.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir.
How are you?
Good, good. We're going to have another person on for their first time.
Yeah, I was just chatting with her.
Yeah, the Prog Nerd. I got to get her name right when she comes on. I think it's Nia. I don't know if it's spelled Niamh, but I think it's Niamh or Niamh or Niamh or Nee, or I don't know.
Best to let her just say
It's best to let her help us out there, because I wouldn't want to be calling her the wrong thing. And here we have it. Here comes Nia. Add to stream.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Hello, how are you?
I'm grand, thanks. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Good.
Welcome to our stream.
I'm glad to be here.
Nice to have you. And let everybody introduce themselves. First of all, your name. How do I pronounce it? I don't want to get it wrong.
Niamh.
Niamh. So how come it's spelled with an M?
It's an Irish name.
It's an Irish name.
Actually, it's easy to remember because it's the same as the mixing console, Niamh mixing console. And you go to school for music, right? You're doing audio engineering, so it should be easy to remember.
Hopefully, it is easier. It's hard for anyone outside the UK or Ireland to actually figure out my pronunciation just by the spelling alone, because the Irish say it as Niamh and stress the A, but over here in the UK we just say Niamh. So I've been called so many different things in my past school life. It's unreal.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So is this your first multi-person live stream?
Yes, it is.
Well, hope you have fun. We'd like to. It's easy going on my channel. We're just going to talk about music. We'll talk a little more prog today because we know you're a big prog fan. So we're going to talk prog today. Jack's Trax, if you want to come, buddy, you know what to do. Come join in the fun. So Niamh, before anything else, I do have one thing I want to ask you about.
Yeah.
And here comes Jack's Trax. Let's add Jax to the stream.
Hello.
A young fellow. Hey, Jack's Trax.
This lighting is definitely strange.
Yeah, you're like super bright, buddy. You're like out on the beach suntanning. What's going on there?
Yeah, there's like a massive ring light just in my face. So hopefully that's a
you
little
might
bit
want to
better.
move it back a little bit.
Is that
But
a
yeah,
little better?
before we get on with the festivities, there's one thing I want to ask Niamh, and I hope she's cool with it. You made quite a splash when you joined the vinyl community.
Yeah.
And it doesn't bother me at all, but I know you rustled some feathers with your first video.
Yeah.
Do you still feel the same now that you're getting to know some of us vinyl people? Do you still feel the same way, or maybe you were a little harsh?
I mean, when I made that video, I had a lot of built-in anger from
maybe not
seeing people who are around the same age as me, maybe a little slightly older, slightly younger, who were just trying to enjoy themselves. And, you had people in the comments section. I think I should have stressed that it was only a certain minority of people.
Yeah,
but I
because
might have just unintentionally categorized everyone under that, which is something
you kind of ruffled some
for.
feathers. Didn't bother me, but I know other people that I speak to on a regular basis in the vinyl community on live streams and whatnot. They were kind of upset, and they're like, "Well, she joins the vinyl community and trashes us all in her first video." So maybe now you can change your opinion a little bit. I hope.
A lot of people. It's I do regret that, but I think that I still stand by people shouldn't be bullied for that.
Oh, absolutely, for sure. But it is, like we said, it's a tiny.
Yeah, it definitely is. There's definitely a kind of an elitist crowd that think that their selection of turntables is the right way. Their selection of the amplifiers and what you should get. I mean, realistically, if you're happy with what you have and it makes you happy listening to music, that's all that's important. I mean, I have a simple Projekt turntable and 2 Klipsch speakers, and I've loved using it. I listen to all my music on there, and I mean, I've been making records myself for a long time. I'm on my 6th studio album, and realistically, people probably think, "Well, why doesn't this guy have a better sound system?" But my system works for me, and if it works for you, then that's the same thing.
That was the point I was trying to get at, but I think I was just so mad that I into a certain amount of people, which was completely unintentional.
And what I've realized from doing videos in the vinyl community for about a year now is that people only hear what they want to hear in videos, and they tune out anything else you're saying in the video. So they hear you say one thing, and then they just focus on that. And they're like a dog with a bone. They just can't let it go. They ignore anything else that was said in the video, and they just become sucked in on that one point, and then they form an opinion, and you can't change their mind.
To be fair, though, Anthony, I mean, Niamh even said herself that maybe she should have said a couple of things to maybe make it a little bit clearer. So maybe some people took it that way because they misinterpreted it. But now that's a good thing with her here on. She can clarify what she meant and kind of, get it straightened out, right?
That's why I wanted to ask you.
Hang on, let her answer.
I made that video also because I think a couple of years ago, I actually tried to start up a vinyl community channel. This was when I was a lot younger, and I made a video about my turntable setup, and I thought that, well, I don't have a Crosley, I'm safe from people making fun of me, but I still got made fun of, and I didn't understand why, because it was a perfectly good, I mean, my speakers definitely need an upgrade, and my amp as well, because they're very, very old ones, but the turntable I thought was good. I was out of the kind of the range of people making fun of me, but I still got it. And that kind of annoyed me. And then I saw a video that someone did, I think in the last year or so. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna make my own video. And then it just blew up. And I had no idea that it was like an overnight thing. I woke up the next day to loads of people commenting on it and people sharing their experiences, and obviously people being like, well, I think you should calm down a little bit there, whatever.
Yeah, you did create quite a fervor when you entered the community.
Well,
like I said, doesn't bother me. You know what? In 1971, when I got my first record player, it was a suitcase record player. Not much different than these modern, suitcase things like the Crosleys and whatnot. It was a little RCA suitcase record player that I used for a couple of years. When I was a kid, I used it for a couple of years, and then I graduated from that to a turntable that was ripped out of a really old hi-fi, like a 1960s hi-fi, and they'd ripped the turntable out of it. One of those things with the spring-loaded bed on it and all that. And I used that probably till 1975 or 6 until I could afford my first turntable, which was like a Technics or something. So, everybody's got to start somewhere. And I never, whatever gets you into music is fantastic. You know what? Whatever gets you into music and makes you enjoy records, fantastic.
Well, mentioning what Niamh said, when you start a channel as a younger person, no matter what turntable you have, no matter what music you're into, you're always going to get it. I mean, this is a comment. Yeah. I mean, this is a older person saying that I'm not qualified to be playing records. You're just going to get it no matter what equipment you have, what music taste you're
Yeah.
into. So it's just.
I mean, I got it for liking prog as well. Oh, you don't actually like it because number one, you're a girl, and number two, you're 18, 19 years old. You don't understand the complexities of this music. I mean, I've had that so many times. And it's...
Which is so stupid because, I mean,
that's
when
not true. Yeah.
When I was, 13, 14, 15, that's all we had back then was prog. It was all prog. Everybody listened to prog. All the girls, all the guys.
It wasn't all prog, but there was a lot of prog, but it wasn't all prog.
Yeah,
but,
it was a lot.
But the thing is, though, I mean, you made a good point, though, Jax, that age is sometimes what people can only see. You could have been listening to music for a long time and might actually have a decent knowledge about the music. Same with you, Niamh. I mean, you could have a decent knowledge of it too. And obviously you've shown it with your streams. I've seen all the records that you showed. You did your review of the moving pictures, which I love because my favorite band is Rush. So I thought that was fantastic. Yeah, same with Jax. And, so your knowledge is there and it's growing every day. I mean, you can't obviously still compare yourself to somebody who's been listening to 40 years of music. I mean, sure, they might have some stuff, more knowledge than you will, but it doesn't matter. You have your knowledge and you will get there too. So that's all that matters. As long as you're open to learning stuff, that's all that matters,
It's like somebody said to me once on one of the streams, they said, Anthony, you have so much fabulous music knowledge. And I say back, I go, no, I don't have knowledge. I have experience. That's all it is. I have years of listening to music. I don't consider myself a knowledgeable person. I just have experience. That's all it is, And, I think Niamh's experience is fantastic. I think her knowledge is fantastic. I see myself, when I was her age, and same with Jax Trax. I mean, look at young Jax here. Jax, you're what? 12, 13, 12. I can never remember. And he's got fantastic music knowledge. Incredible music knowledge.
It's true. But let's get on to talking about some music.
Yeah, so
I'm sure Niamh wants to talk about music. So let's
ask.
I
mean, when I was 12, 13 years old, I wish I was listening to prog. I was listening to thrash music at that point in my life. Because I was, starting out in secondary school. I'm not sure what that is. I was about 12, and I was listening to radio music. I was listening to top 40 stuff at that point, and my introduction to music was Radiohead. Yeah, so I wish I had that kind of stuff back then.
I think most of us, our introduction to music was through AM. Like for me, certainly through AM radio and top 40 hits was certainly what brought me to music the first time. I think it's probably what brings most people to music is what's on the radio on the hit charts. And that's what first brings people to music.
It's funny, though. I kind of had the same entry into prog as Niamh did, because I started listening to a lot of the heavier stuff, too. I was into Megadeth and Nevermore and, Metallica and, all the Testament and all these bands. I was listening to all that. And then I started getting into, King Crimson and stuff like that. And I was went heavily into the progressive end of stuff, right? I mean, I still listen to those other bands, too, but I'm heavily into that side of things, which brings me to my first question for you, Niamh. So you were into obviously bands like Yes and Genesis and King Crimson and stuff like that. So what would you say for you is your favorite Yes album at this point right now?
My favorite Yes album it's Close to the Edge. It's one that I've hung on to for since I got into prog, really, because the first album I listened to of theirs was the Yes album, which is something my dad showed me, and from then on I kind of started listening through their discography. And when I first heard the track Close to the Edge, I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever heard. I want to be able to play this. I want to make music like this. So that's probably my favorite record, as well as side 2 as well, which is fantastic. So I'll probably say Close to the Edge is my favorite Yes record at this point in time.
Fantastic.
Now I noticed I watched your video just before the stream today. I watched your Yes video that you did the other day, the one where you showed your Yes collection.
Yeah.
And I noticed you don't have anything after the Disastrous Tornado. Nothing like Drama and 902-105 and Big Generator, Union, all these, the Ladder. Is there some reason you don't have those yet? Or is it just because you haven't got around to listening to them? Do you not want to go? Do you not want to go with the later Yes?
Well, yeah, she hasn't listened to them, but I can highly suggest, honestly, Drama is a fantastic album. I think you'll really enjoy that one.
Yeah, it's one of my top 3 as far as I'm concerned.
Union, I mean, I'm curious to hear your opinion on Union when you get to it, but a lot of people call it Onion because it's so terrible. But, I'm curious to hear your opinion on that. But honestly, records like Magnification are excellent, and same with the Ladder. So I'm really curious to hear your opinion on that when you get to those.
So you're just working your way up to those? That's the deal?
Yeah, I've just kind of been listening through the kind of earlier discography up until.
What do you want to get next from Yes? Where are you going next? Are you going to try go chronologically with your Yes collecting?
Yeah,
We'll get to the comments. Hang on.
In order. It just that makes it easier for me. I don't know why. I've never been like, oh, I'll listen to a really late album. I usually listen to an early album when I'm getting into a band first. Like to listen
that's
to.
A good way to do it chronologically, I think. You know, when I discover a new band, I try to go chronologically with their stuff. And also Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Where have you gotten to with them? I know you just got Love Beach not too long ago, which isn't as bad as people say. We won't go into the whole Love Beach thing.
That was the best video. I mean, my favorite videos from Niamh are always like the Saturdays with Dad, but the Love Beach trashing of the stream or just the video, I think I haven't laughed harder in a vinyl video. So I want to thank you for that.
So much just reading through all the comments.
I was there.
I left one in there.
I was there for that stream, so.
Yeah, I left a little one in there for the video, but yeah,
it's not as bad as people. It's not as bad as people make it out to be.
I think people just seem to look at the cover of Love Beach.
Oh yeah, the cover
just. It's not the same three people as like Tarkus and Trilogy and all that. No, these are not. This is the Bee Gees. This is what the hell is this? And I listened to it for the first time.
I think if they'd have named it anything else and had a different cover picture, it would have gone over better.
Yeah, I think the cover is the main,
The cover has always been, I think, the cover and name were the main issue, I think, with that album. Now, have you gone past that?
Side 2 is magnificent.
Have you gone past that? Have you gone past Love Beach?
Yeah, I've listened to, the Emerson, Lake and Powell album as well, and
how about Black Moon? Or
yeah, I got that in recently, actually.
Okay, perfect. And there's a couple really good live record store day releases you should try to discover as well.
Okay, so hang on. Before people start going nuts here, people are bitching that we're not talking about any of the comments that are on here.
Gallery.
So let's put this one up here. Christoph Peterson has said, some people are crazy. That has very little to do with the vinyl community. We are all friendly here, and long live Genesis.
Wonderful.
So there's one comment.
And welcome, Christoph.
Then you have Harris Pilton here saying the people that are spending 50 to 100 pounds on an early Led Zeppelin Floyd pressing, those records were probably played on Crosby equivalents in the 70s.
Absolutely. For me, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So welcome, Christoph. Welcome, Eddie. Welcome, Rob Walker. Welcome, Mark Mandarin. Let's make sure we mentioned everybody. Who else is in there today?
3 Dimensions of Music. Hello. Beetle Boys
Jamie
here too.
Cottle, welcome Jamie Cottle. Everybody, welcome to the stream. We are seeing the comments.
Yeah.
Mark's better at seeing the comments than I do because I have to go over here to see them.
Yeah. So I'll keep
Mark
track
has them right in front of him, so I kind of trust Mark to.
I'll take care of that.
Take care of the comment section.
So let's get over to another.
I want to go with Niamh and Mark here, and what I want to do is Mark, introduce yourself to Niamh because I don't know if she's very familiar with you. Tell her about your music because I think your music is something that Niamh would really like. Getting into prog herself, because I have always said about Mark Anthony here, who's from the independent Canadian Projekt Gemineye. He's a one-man show. His albums are prog metal, and I always call him a combination of Russian Yes.
And Ordinary Day is a masterpiece.
Oh, you like that album? Yeah.
Yeah, it's so awesome.
So great. So basically, as Anthony said, I mean, I'm in that band Projekt Gemineye. I'm not sure if you've seen my channel around or whatever, but I have messaged on a few of your videos before. So basically, I just do prog rock. I record everything here myself. I sing everything, record everything, produce everything. That's why when I heard on your video that you're taking audio production, that instantly kind of made me start watching it because I went down that same path and I loved it. And I think you're going to have a great time doing the audio production stuff. It's really, really cool. And if you ever get into recording bands, I think you'll love it even more. Right. So, so basically, if you ever wanted to just check out my stuff, just go to Bandcamp. Have you ever been on Bandcamp before?
I haven't, no.
Yeah, there's a link. There's a site called Bandcamp. If you just go put Bandcamp into Google, you'll find like a site, and you can find all kinds of independent bands in there, and selling records and vinyl and all kinds of lots of great prog bands that probably you've never even heard of.
Prog bands. Lots of modern prog bands.
So if you put it,
great prog.
Yeah. So if you put Projekt Gemineye in there, you'll see my page come up, and there's a bunch of music there. I mean, that's totally up to you. I'm not pushing you here to go check it out, but I'm sure Anthony will probably do that himself anyways. So, but yeah, if you want to check it out, feel free to. And if you ever do, I'd be curious to hear your comments on it.
I'll check it out. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I
think she'd like it. She likes Rush. She likes Rush. She likes Yes.
Well, hang on, let her talk.
And I think she'll like it.
I mean, I'm open to everything. I don't discriminate from sort of genres or anything.
Good. So Rob Walker puts, does Niamh like any soul music?
I've never really kind of gone into that scene just yet. That's not me saying that I dislike it. I've just not listened to much of it. I think I know my dad is really into soul, but I've never really listened to much.
Yeah. Okay, great. I mean, the peanut gallery, that's what we call these people in the side there. The peanut gallery want to know these things, so that's why we're asking.
And the peanut gallery like to throw peanuts too, so just beware.
if Rob Walker's here, we'll definitely get a few of them, so we'll get to witness that.
But this is great. Look at that. We got 4 generations of music listeners here right now, which I think is great. Me, the old geezer, Mark, who's probably 20 years behind me. And then we've got Niamh and young Jack here. So I think this is great that we have all these generations of music listeners all loving the same music. I think that's fantastic.
Exactly.
I'd like to see more of that. I think that's really great to see, and especially to see somebody like Niamh, her gender, her age, getting into prog as heavily and getting other people into prog, because you've managed to get yourself a very good following in the last month. Amazing following. And that is a lot of people you're going to inspire to maybe discover some great music.
Hopefully it will be. Only problem is I wish I could just get my friends to like prog.
Well,
the friends are always the toughest.
I mean, I managed to get my boyfriend to listen to Trilogy by Emerson, Lake and Palmer and Red by King Crimson. But that's as far as I've gone with getting anyone in my circle to listen to.
Start.
What does everyone else listen to?
Does not like prog that much. It's the long music, it's the long guitar solos, the weird lyrics. It just doesn't fit their agenda, I guess.
What was the prog song or album that just blew you away and got you into prog? And how did you just come across it?
2112 by Rush. The one that got me into, and it's funny story actually. If you've seen School of Rock, the film with Jack Black, he gives the drummer kid the 2112 CD. That's where I listened to it for the first time through that film, because I trust Jack Black's musical opinions. So I'd heard everything else, but that was one that I had not heard. So I checked it out and I discovered this whole genre that I'd never really heard of before.
Mm-hmm. Great.
I have a very similar story. I mean, I got much not like you guys. I didn't go for the metal route and then into prog. I went to kind of like the classic rock into prog. So my first introduction was Hemispheres. So after I listened to that, and then I saw the Jack Black film, listened to 2112, and then got into Moving Pictures and all of that kind of stuff. So that really was my introduction. I mean, yeah, I feel like Rush is pretty much 50% of the introductions to prog.
Well, so. I gotta say, your Heyo Haynes here put, I don't think Rush is prog. I think he's absolutely incorrect. If you've never listened to A Farewell to Kings or Hemispheres, and obviously you don't know that Rush is obviously progressive, especially in that time era. I mean, sure, their musical style has developed through the years, and being a huge fan. The first couple
album would not have been rock.
No, it's very blues rock.
All the way.
Oh yeah, the first album's not very progressive.
But then it went on and it got very progressive from 2112. Farewell to Kings, Hemispheres, and even there were elements of it still in Permanent Ways, but that definitely got a little bit more friendlier as far as, what the kind of musical styles they started developing. They got a little bit more commercial, a little bit of reggae came in. So there's another question here that Christoph is hammering us to have you answer is, can you show us, Niamh, some of your newest prog album purchases?
Well, they're all kind of jammed into my shelf at the moment, but I got in a lot of. By new, do you mean like as in new bands or as in just new albums?
What you've just bought recently, sort of thing. It doesn't have to be new bands.
I ordered so much Gentle Giant recently because I've been really into them, and the same with Van der Graaf Generator as well. The kind of lesser known, bigger prog bands, if that makes any sense. Also, a great band that I got into very recently. Gracious. They're a UK prog band, very, very much under the radar, and they're from kind of around the same area I am. They're from Esher, and I'm from around Wimbledon area.
So they're a modern prog band?
No, they're a 70s one, but they only made two. I think they only made 2 albums. I'm not too sure, but they are very good, very ambient, and kind of trying to describe it. It's kind of very melodic, very kind of atmospheric, very much like you can just sit down and listen to it, and
cool.
They'll just
did they get international fame, or were they more a locally known band?
I think they were just more locally known in the UK because, you know, checking up on Spotify and stuff, very, very little people are monthly listeners. So I really, if anyone out there is into prog and wants to get into kind of a lot more instrumental stuff, they're a very good place to listen to.
So Rob Walker's asking you, Niamh, do you have a favorite Manchester band?
Manchester. I mean, I guess I could say the Smiths, but yeah. I mean, I'm trying to remember I don't know if Joy Division were from Manchester or not, but I know the Smiths are a good band from Manchester as well. I've never really listened to much up north bands, so I kind of have stuck very.
I find the whole Gentle Giant thing fantastic because I'm a huge Gentle Giant fan as well. I know Christoph is also a huge fan who's in the Peanut Gallery, loves it, and I have everything. I got multiple pressings of it. I'm sure you probably are getting down that route as well. So I got to ask you, what's your favorite Gentle Giant album so far?
So far, Octopus. Probably
Yeah,
my favorite. I love that. Yeah,
that's a great record. I've always loved the first album as well. I mean, I've always loved that. That's always been it's always been a great one. Yeah. So I got to ask you one other thing too, and I'm sure Anthony has a lot of things to ask you as well. I'm very curious about the whole audio engineering thing that you're into. I mean, right now, obviously with the COVID thing, you probably can't do too much of it. Are you doing anything homeschooling with that, or are you off completely right now with that?
I mean, I got Logic Pro on my computer, so I'm actually able to kind of sort of do some sort of MIDI programming stuff because I have a keyboard to work into. But I am doing that kind of stuff. It's just that being away from people who I'm in a band, and it's quite hard to kind of get ideas. And, you know, I mean, a load of our members have gone into university in different parts of the country, so we're not able to kind of communicate. But I am able to I've tried kind of coming up with some stuff recently, which maybe I'll tease a bit in my videos, but at the moment it's just up in the air.
Fantastic. So Anthony, over to you, my friend.
Over to me. I noticed here that Rob Walker said that Joy Division are a Manchester band.
Oh yeah.
So that answers that question.
Can I get
So you listen to mostly prog now? I know that from watching some of your videos, because I try to watch as many of yours as I can, that you like metal, and you showed your Iron Maiden. As you can see, I'm an Iron Maiden fan. They're my favorite.
I'm a massive Iron Maiden fan.
Yeah, me too. My favorite metal band, Iron Maiden, for sure. So do you still listen to your Iron Maiden? Do you still listen to your metal? Have you moved away from that stuff right now to sort of only listen to prog? Or are you still jumping back and forth?
I mean, I jump back and forth, especially with things like, you know, Sabbath, the Iron Maiden, and Metallica, Megadeth, all stuff that I do come back to every so often. I'm just kind of stuck in the kind of prog black hole.
Is there any bands, prog bands, that you want to try that you haven't yet?
There's the Italian prog band PFM that I've not gotten into just yet, but I've got plans to listen to them. It's like the more European prog bands, you know, the German prog bands and the Italian prog bands I'm yet to kind of get into. I'm kind of working my way through the British prog scene at the moment. So that is something I'm going to hopefully talk
you got
about.
The Canadian prog scene, of course, with Rush.
Oh yeah, with Rush, yeah, definitely. And, you know, the American newer bands like, you know, Dream Theater and Tool and stuff like that, that I were kind of an introduction to prog, but kind of not at the same time.
Well, there's another smaller, lesser-known Canadian prog band that moved more poppy as they went, but certainly their first probably 4 albums were very prog, called Saga. So I don't know if they've made their way. I know they're huge in Germany still. They're massive in Germany, and they're massive in South America. But I don't know how big they got to be in the UK at all. But I would recommend Saga's Debut or Images of Twilight or even what's the third album? Oh, tip of my tongue. I would recommend them if you haven't heard Saga, another great prog band from Canada.
Also, I'll check them out.
Yeah,
that's
they have
great.
A new album. They actually have a new album coming out in March, which is
So I got to ask you too, being that you're obviously, a UK person, one person who is very, very talked about within the progressive scene of music is Steven Wilson. Now, have you ventured yet into his catalog or into Porcupine Tree stuff? And what's your opinion?
I love Porcupine Tree. Actually, it's a recent discovery for me and my dad as well. And after that, I obviously looked into his solo work as well, and I really admire his work as a producer as well as a solo, and obviously part of Porcupine Tree, which aren't together anymore. But interesting fact, he's from literally the area next to me.
Really?
Yeah, he's from Kingston. But I do really love his work I just love that he's kind of carrying on the kind of prog name in the UK, which is kind of gone, sadly. If you're familiar with what music's like over here at the moment, then you'll see that someone like Steven Wilson is very much a good thing.
I guess so. I mean, have you heard some of the things that he's done as far as remixing some of the Yes records and stuff like that? You're familiar with that? And what's your opinion of the original to his versions?
I mean, I have the Steven Wilson remix box set, the Yes one, and I think it sounds a lot more crystal clear, in my opinion, than the original mixes, which I like to kind of hear a bigger bass sound. I'm really into hearing my bass as a bass guitarist myself.
I was going to say, what sort of sound do you prefer? I really am a big fan of bassy. I like bassy recordings, bassy mixes, things that rattle my room and make the things vibrate on the shelves. Definitely. But I know there's some people out there that really don't like bassy recordings. They like that high end and they and the mid range and the high end, which I'm not a big fan of.
So there's a few questions in here that we should probably get over to you too.
We should.
First, Mega Jeff said that, hey, I'm here. I have some of Mark's vinyl records. Nice to see him on here. Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate it. Also, Christopher's said that progressive rock rules, Italian progressive rock rules. So he's a big fan of that as well. There's a couple of other things. Oh, yes. Michael has been asking quite a bit. I have to ask Niamh if she's familiar with Devo at all.
Yep. I am very much familiar with Devo.
Very good. So that's something that I'm sure he'll be pleased with. And what about Devin Townsend?
Live at, I think it was Nebworth. And,
really?
Yeah, he's not a big fan, but he said that they were very funny looking.
Nice.
I posted the link to the chat again in the channel. Welcome, Jade. Yes, Jade. I saw you in the comments there, Jade Lauren, who has a channel, who's sort of vinyl community. She does a lot of other things on her channel too. A lot of things geared to products for girls and this and that. I discovered her through my daughter and my daughter's love for Ariana Grande. I know that Jade's a big Ariana Grande fan, but she's gotten into vinyl, and her vinyl collection is building. And I know she's big on the Beatles. She's gotten into The Cure recently. Jade, you're welcome to come up and say hello. Thanks for coming and checking out the chat. Everybody's welcome here. It's family friendly, all ages friendly, all music styles friendly. We're just talking music.
So getting back to the music stuff, Christopher's asking if you like Gong or Magma.
Another two bands that I'm yet to get into. I know of Gong, just not listened to them yet.
Oh, nice. There you go. There's one record that I think it would be a good point to start with.
This is probably the introduction for Gong, I think. It's the only piece of vinyl I have by them, but this was my introduction to Gong. It's definitely awesome record.
I know my dad's heard of them as well, knows of them as well, so.
And this is a UK press as well, which is exciting.
And I was going to ask you too, Devin Townsend, are you familiar with his work?
I've heard the name, just not listened to the music yet.
Great. So I think he might be somebody that you might be into, that might merge the sort of love of the heavy extreme music that you loved when you were younger and the progressive end of stuff now, because he blends that stuff very well together. And that's why a lot of people like his music, I feel. So it might be something to check out. I know by the time we're done, you're going to have 100,000 things to check out, right?
I'm always happy with recommendations. I always need new stuff to listen to.
Well, that's what's great about our live streams and the things we try to bring. When we bring a bunch of people together, lots of names get dropped and ideas, and I always end up going and buying something that somebody's talked about and that I didn't know about, and vice versa.
That's exactly what we did recently, because a lot of people were talking about Opeth in our videos, and both me and my dad just checked them out, and I thought, well, I haven't listened to this kind of music in a few years, and I just fell in love with the kind of extreme side as well as the melodic prog side as well. I love that blend so much.
Yeah, especially Blackwater Park is a great example of the extreme meeting into the more progressive end of things. And again, Steven Wilson is there in great detail helping them out as far as production and stuff like that. So that's a great thing. And I got to ask you, you mentioned your father, who is obviously a big point of interest with us as well, because he has quite the vast collection of records, it seems. And I'm guessing a lot of your introduction came from his collection. What are some of the records that he has that really made you stand up and go, wow, I got to really get into this genre a bit more?
Well, back when we kind of started our collection, he bought in a load of the classic albums, because obviously I think when vinyl started to die out, he had sold his collection on back many years ago, and now when it came, we started collecting again. And some of the first albums he got were some like Led Zeppelin, The Doors, Joy Division, obviously the Beatles as well, and Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys. Those were all very much albums that I was interested in, because I was into very kind of emo music, like Bring Me the Horizon and stuff like that. And then when listening to that, my music taste just completely changed. So he's definitely a big inspiration on my music taste and introducing me to lots of different new artists that I had never heard of. As someone who was born in 2002, hadn't heard any of these things before, stuff that had come before me. So hearing older stuff made me think, oh, well, maybe my dad's got a point after all.
Yeah. So it's interesting, Matthew Sanchez puts, I agree with Niamh. Music here in the UK is so bad at the moment. We need more people like Steven Wilson.
I agree with you there. Music is so awful at the moment over here. It's all so, I don't want to get too preachy, because I know sometimes I let myself get too preachy and people get annoyed, but it's very much manufactured pop. It's more like something
manufactured pop has become very big in the last couple of years again. Very, very big.
It's something that I used to listen to, and something I just had to stop listening to, because it just got so repetitive and so samey, and I'd rather listen to something I can sit down and listen to, rather than something that's like just there for you to dance to or sing along to.
But not that there's anything wrong to have something there to tap your feet to every once in a while.
Oh no, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, sometimes I'll hear something and say, oh, okay, that's quite catchy. I see why people like it. I'm not sit here and say, oh, you shouldn't listen to this, you shouldn't listen to that, because that's not the kind of person that I am, and the person that I don't want.
It's like me, because everybody knows me and I get a lot of fun poked at me because I like pop. I like pop artists. I like all the old pop artists. But I mean, I still like my prog. I like my metal. I like my hard rock. I like it all. So, I have something for every mood that I may be feeling. And having a teenage daughter,
of course,
having a teenage daughter that's very much into this stuff too, you can't help but be influenced that way as well.
Yeah.
How about you, Jax? What are you listening to lately? You've been kind of silent.
Definitely.
So
I was going to say though, one other band that's been brought up a lot.
Go.
Whoa. Okay, sorry. One before we get to Jax, I just got to ask you one more band, because it's been brought up here quite a bit. Is Transatlantic? Are you familiar with this band, and what are your thoughts?
Familiar, but again, not heard any of their material.
Okay, so off to you, Jax.
What was the question again?
Well, what's new, Jax? What's new since we saw you last? What have you been into? What have you been spinning? What have you been buying? What are you listening to?
I've never been much of a Bowie fan, and that has definitely changed. And I know Mr. Mark Anthony K will be very proud of me. But yeah, I've never been a huge fan. I discovered Diamond Dogs, and I've been really digging that lately. Cheap Trick has been releasing some new music. Their new album's coming out in April. So yeah, some Bowie going on, some new Cheap Trick material. Yeah.
Funny you mentioned Cheap Trick there, Jax. You know, I had a curbside pickup today, and let's see what's in this curbside pickup bag.
Oh,
Yeah.
I got a curbside pickup. I realized that Dream Police was long missing in my collection, so I had to reacquire it.
I just gifted Channel 33 RPM that actually, and
That's right, you did, yeah.
He's been really getting into them, which is really awesome. Yeah, I mean, I never, they've always been under the radar for me, and I listened to Surrender and I really enjoyed it. So, I mean, I know, Niamh, you're not a huge fan of power pop, but if you listen to that first record, that's definitely very hard rock. And so I would really recommend that as a kind of gateway into that more kind of power pop. But yeah, that first two albums really are more hard than other material by them. So yeah, so that's kind of.
Another thing that just arrived for me today, last night actually.
Nice.
That's good. That's one of the better American prog bands. Speaking of that, do you have any favorite American prog bands?
That's their first 10 albums.
I love Dream Theater and Tool. They're my favorites probably at the moment.
Are you familiar with Fate's Warning at all?
No, I'm not actually, no.
They are really, really good. And the funny thing is they were highly influenced. Well, Dream Theater were highly influenced by them, actually. I think they started because of Fate's Warning. And if you listen to them, you'll probably hear the similarity at the beginning part of their career. It's very much of the similar nature, except that Dream Theater is more keyboard heavy and Fate's Warning is more guitar heavy, right? So
I'm also taking notes here.
Okay, great. So I'm going to ask you, Niamh, when this whole COVID thing is done and everybody can go back outside and get back to doing things like that, what are the two bands you would love to see most live in concert?
Well, I've got plans to see the new Yes lineup in May. So that's one that I very much would love to go to. And also, nice.
But I think you'll find...
That was a Royal Affair tour.
I think you'll find, though, Niamh, that tour will get postponed.
Yeah.
Because I know a couple other artists that I was planning to see, Pet Shop Boys and New Order, they postponed their tour to September, and now they've postponed it till May of 2022. And that was a UK show too. All their UK shows were pushed to 2022 now.
I mean, last year, me and my mum and dad, we were meant to be seeing the Eagles in summer, but obviously we weren't able to. And so hopefully that, because we saw them the year before in 2019 at Wembley Stadium, which was good. So we decided when they announced they were touring again, obviously my dad jumped to the computer to get tickets, and we didn't know that this whole COVID thing was going to happen. So
yeah, for sure. I think you're going to see, though, I think most arena and stadium tours that were pushed into 2021 will probably get pushed again.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I don't think the world will be ready for them yet.
Yeah, I mean,
at least not until later. At the earliest, I would see the very end of the year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because I've talked to a lot of people within the industry as well, and a lot of them are saying that all the promoters are telling them that don't make any plans for 2021, that everything is going to be pushed back to 2022. Because I'm good friends with Billy Sherwood of Yes, right? And he told me that that they're booked to do the UK tour, but from what he's hearing, it's not really happening, and they're been really pushing to finish off their new album, which through the grapevine we've heard is pretty much done. They're in the mixing stage of getting the new studio album done, so that's going to probably come out before the tour happens. But they're really pushing to get the tour obviously going, because everybody's been wanting to see this Relayer in its entirety played live, right? Absolutely. Which is one of my favorite. It is my favorite Yes album of all time.
It's my favorite Yes album too, and I haven't got a copy of it on vinyl. I can't find a clean, and I have yet to find a clean copy of it.
You know what, Anthony? I'll give you.
I'm almost ready to buy that Steven Wilson box set just for the freaking.
But you know what? I'm going to give you a copy, Anthony. I have 5 pressings of that album, including a white label.
I can't find a decent copy anywhere. I really can't.
I'll give you one. I'll give you one until you find one that you're satisfied with.
I got to have it on vinyl.
Yeah, but I'm curious too, Niamh. We've talked about what you wanted to see. What have you seen before all this COVID stuff happened? Like, what bands were you seeing live?
I saw Dream Theater literally a month before we got put into lockdown, which was very good.
So if you saw Dream Theater a month before, was that the one that has just been released on vinyl? The February show?
Yeah, the London one. That was the one I was at.
Yeah, I bought that. I bought that a couple of weeks ago. I ordered it because it was it just dropped on vinyl like 3 weeks ago. And I was actually listening to it in the car today because it came with both the quadruple vinyl and the triple CD are both packaged in it. And it's a fantastic performance.
Oh, it was
filmed in February. That February in London. So that was
how was it then? Tell us more about it.
It was brilliant. It was amazing. And my dad at first was actually reluctant to go because he's not really much into metal or anything like that. But I took him there, and they played the whole of Scenes from a Memory. Yeah. He left the gig liking Dream Theater, so I guess it must have been a pretty good gig if he actually left and wanted to hear more of their material.
Exactly.
Yeah, they do play the entire Memory album, and
it was incredible. Great live
It's basically 2 albums and a couple songs. The whole concert is basically 2 albums and a couple of other songs. And this is fantastic, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, they've been always really, really good live band. I mean, I remember when I first got into them, it was 92 when they came out with Images and Words. And I remember them came to Toronto and it was like a half empty house here because nobody had heard of them at that point. And I'd only heard of them because of James Labrie, who was a guy who lives just north of us in Midland, originally here in Ontario, where I live, right? So that was a big thing because we heard him from the other bands where that was in Winter Rose and all these other kind of hair metal bands that he was in. But he got into Dream Theater, so we were like, wow, this is amazing, So it was quite the shift for him from going from a hair metal type band to Dream Theater, right? So that was very, very interesting,
Now, would you consider Dream Theater your first prog influence?
I'd say so, yeah, because I was obviously
they kind of border on that symphonic metal prog kind of.
Yeah, because I thought they had like they had obviously the influence from bands like Iron Maiden and Metallica, which I was really into, and then listening to Dream Theater, I was like, well, this is interesting with like obviously the Iron Maiden and the Metallica and the metal influences, obviously the classic rock influences like Pink Floyd and stuff like that, which I loved. And then there's also different type of music that I'd not heard of being prog.
Now you mentioned your boyfriend, you're getting your boyfriend into prog. What does your boyfriend normally like to listen to then? If he wasn't listening to prog, what is he?
Obviously, haven't looked at her Instagram story.
Well, he listens to a lot of classic rock. Like he's very much into his Pink Floyd, his Queen, his Beatles. I got him into Radiohead, and that was like a big thing for him. And then he was really into, if you've heard of him, Tame Impala.
Tame Impala.
Yeah, really, really into Tame Impala for a long time. But
I actually have all of Tame Impala's albums, all 4 of them.
Yeah,
Great artist.
And he got me into that as well. But he's looking into a lot of like modern artists at the moment. But he likes his classic rock. He also loves his metal as well. He loves his Metallica. He loves his Iron Maiden, his Motorhead. I mean, I think one of the first things we talked about when I first met him was gigs that we had been to. And we were trying to kind of outshine each other. And he said, well, you know what? I saw Motorhead before Lemmy died. And that kind of ended the conversation.
Yeah, no kidding. So I'm going to ask you, do you play an instrument at all, Niamh?
Yeah, I play bass guitar.
Okay, so obviously bass guitar is one of the instruments within a prog band. I mean, there's so many popular bass players. Do you have a favorite bass player in the prog genre?
I've got 2.
Okay.
Squire, of course, and Geddy Lee.
You can't get much better than that. I mean, one influenced the other. You know what I mean? So you have a perfect combination of the 2. Have you learned any of these songs yet? Is there a favorite you like to play on bass?
I am trying really hard to learn them, but I'm quite new to the instrument because I played guitar up until that point. But I decided that bass with guitar was the instrument for me.
One bass song that's really fun. I play a little bit of bass. I'm not that great at it, but "Leave That Thing Alone" is a song off of Counterparts by Rush, and it's really fun to play. It's not that hard. So Yeah, that's one that I would suggest. It's so fun to play. There's like a lot of like pull offs and like octave stuff. And
Oh,
if
yeah.
you're just beginning in bass, it's definitely good to wrap your head around that, because when I first learned that, that introduced me to a pretty much a whole nother world of bass and how
Excellent,
getting
Jax.
yeah. So that would be my recommendation for like a rush bass
I
song.
approve of that, Jax. You get extra points.
This is a question for both Jax and for Niamh. How would you guys rate? Be brutally honest, and how would you guys rate yourself with your guitar, bass, whatever playing skills?
Out of what?
Yeah.
How would you rate it? Can you hold your own? Could you record something? Would you play? Would you be comfortable playing live?
I mean,
I've played live, yeah.
gigs. I've played gigs with our band just before COVID came along. We played at this small venue very close to us, and they had to stop letting people in because one of our band members, he's a very much extroverted person, was telling so many people, "Oh, we're playing a gig this Friday. We're playing a gig this Friday," and so many of his mates came along, and they had to stop letting people in because there were too many people because the venue was quite small. So obviously we had, people that I'd invited, people that my boyfriend had invited and stuff like that. And then this whole crowd of people that our drummer had invited. It was mental.
And,
that's great.
And what sort of music were you playing in those gigs? Original material, cover songs, combination?
We did a combination. We did one original and then the rest were covers. I mean, I insisted that we played a Tool song at the beginning.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Nice.
What were your covers? What sort of covers were you doing?
Well, we started off with Sober by Tool. Very cool bass intro that I was very much happy to introduce the gig with. We played a lot of Radiohead. I think we played a Smashing Pumpkins song. I'm trying to remember because there wasn't too many songs that we played. We played The Chain by Fleetwood Mac, which was one that I actually had a chance to sing on, which actually got rid of my stage fright. So that was good. We played a lot of Radiohead though because we were all massively into Radiohead at that point.
Do you write your own music? Do you write music as well?
Yeah, I try and write my own music. I mean, at the moment, I've been very much inspired by the prog that I've been listening to, and I've taken up the piano all over again because I think if people saw in the last video, I mentioned that I gave up piano when I was about 13 or 14 because I thought it wasn't cool. Because I was listening to metal.
I have such a similar story. Yeah,
I was like, "This is cool. This is so nerdy."
Yeah, I started playing piano and absolutely hated it, and then moved into drums, which I would consider myself much better at than bass. And then got into bass, and that rhythm section thing has always been huge for me. A lot of people know that watch my channel. I invite a good friend of mine who's also named Jack. We, before COVID, used to play a lot of like restaurants and like high schools and stuff. And it was just, we found a drum. We like rotated drummers. We could never find someone that actually wanted to do it. But he played guitar. I played bass, and so that's something we've always done. So yeah, I have a similar story with piano and then thinking it wasn't cool at all.
Yeah,
and then,
I think the piano thing was always a thought that people have when they start playing music. Because I've been playing guitar for like over 20 years, easy. And at first I was kind of like, piano, that's like Elton John stuff. And, I was not into it at that time, right? But then, you start listening to bands like Dream Theater and, Kevin Moore is such a fantastic keyboard player. And then you have, obviously, all these other fantastic keyboard players. Geddy Lee's even a good keyboard player. They have, Banks from Genesis. You have all these keyboard players that start making you think, well, wait a minute, maybe I should get back to playing some piano because it might help me on that end of things. Rick Wakeman, like look at the piano playing that guy does on these Yes albums, Yeah.
What brought me back into piano was actually Raymond Zarek from The Doors. So a lot of that like organ style, and even like Edgar Winter, that album, They Only Come Out at Night. I listened to like Frankenstein on that, and I was totally influenced by that awesome synth sound. So it wasn't really piano for me that got me back into like the actual piano. It was more of that synth and organ stuff that really got me back into it and made me circle around.
So I have a proposal here for Mark. He might hate me for this one. But Mark,
yes,
you there?
I'm here. I'm listening.
There. So maybe on your next Projekt Gemineye album, you should do something really like out there and ask people like Niamh to guest star on your album. Some vinyl community. Get some vinyl community members that are half fluent on their instruments to contribute a little riff here or there. I think that would be an interesting idea.
Is your let me put it to you this way. Is that something that you're comfortable with doing?
Who, me?
Niamh.
I wouldn't mind. I mean, I'm yet to kind of master my instrument a little bit more, but I'm up for anything.
Well, let's put it this way. I'm starting my next Projekt Gemineye record probably near the middle of summer, fall of this year. You know, I don't know if that's enough time for you to master to the point of where you want it, but I could ask you again at that time if you want.
The problem with that is that I'm going to university this year, so I'm going to be swamped and with work and stuff like that. But if I can find a moment, I can let you know.
Okay, no pressure. I know.
It's just an idea.
It's an idea, and if you're interested, then I have no problem with. I have no problem with addressing that idea and seeing where it takes, right?
Because I think we have so many people that we talk to on streams that play instruments that I think are pretty decent players, that it would be kind of fun to involve them in some sort of project where they could contribute a lick, a riff or a lick or just a little something here or there to it. I think that would be kind of cool idea. And now, home recording and all this, and people, like when Mark here does his albums, he's got Billy Sherwood sending him his music files to Mark, recording them in his own space, sending them to Mark. I mean, people nowadays can record their musical parts. They don't need to all walk into a studio to get together to record anymore. They can do it in the comfort of their own space and just email their stuff to each other nowadays. Upload their stuff to each other. I mean, that's how a lot of albums are getting made. How a lot of albums got made during the pandemic. Are people remotely doing their part for the album.
Yeah, well, I mean, whatever. That's something that she has to be comfortable with, and something if she wants to do it, that's totally in your court.
And I said, even for Jax or anybody else that's watching that thinks they can cut the mustard on their instrument, I think it would be a fun kind of project to do something like that, to have a whole bunch of members of the community be involved in some sort of musical project.
Yeah, I've been working on some stuff here. I've for my birthday, I got a lot of recording equipment. So
when's your birthday there, Jax?
It was in July. So I've kind of learned. So I got drum mics. I got an iRig, and just have hooked that up to. So I hooked that up to Soundtrap, and then did a lot of stuff there. So yeah, it's been. I mean, what else are you gonna do right now? So it's definitely it's definitely something to explore, and it's pretty fun. So,
and I believe Niamh, you just had a birthday not too long ago, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
Yeah, it was about a week ago. Yeah.
So you're what, a January girl, or?
Yeah, end of January. My birthday is the 25th of January, which, if anyone in the UK is watching, especially people who are from Scotland, it's actually a what do you call, like a holiday, like a celebration holiday. It's called Buns Night on my birthday. Yeah.
What's the holiday?
I don't know much about it because I'm English, so I don't really see that much of that side of the UK. But it's celebrating or commemorating someone, and it's called Buns. I should really do my research into it, considering it's on my birthday. But never really looked.
Well, I'm a January person myself too. I'm January 3rd. Mark, when's your birthday, Mark?
June 9th.
June 9th.
Yeah. I'm a Gemini, obviously. Hence Projekt Gemineye.
Yes, you're a Gemini.
Yes.
Hence Projekt Gemineye.
So, Niamh, anything that you're looking forward to acquiring in the next couple of months?
Yeah, what's next? Do you have something like a list? What do you want? What are you going after next?
I have like a massive board that I've got, like half of it is my schedule, my recording schedule, and half of it is my albums that I want to get, which is over there. And it's a lot of, I think I've got Pink Floyd record, I've got some Frank Zappa, Marillion, a band that I discovered recently, Renaissance, and some Camel records as well. So that's really what I'm gonna try and acquire.
I'm huge on Marillion right now. I mean, I really love their early stuff. I got Clutching at Straws on vinyl recently again, and Misplaced Childhood and stuff like that on vinyl. So I really like that. But honestly, I'm more of a Steve Rothery fan like of that era after Fish left. I'm not sure how deep you're into the whole Marillion thing, but do you have a favorite Marillion record?
I love Script for Justice Tear. That's the first one I ever listened to and the one that I love the most. I've got a lot of kind of memories attached to that one as well. So it's kind of has a special place in my heart. Album.
That's a great record. Great record.
I've got a deluxe version of it up here somewhere, which is very, very good.
Now, I think you showed in that Yes video. Tormato is your latest, is the last chronologically Yes album you own right now, correct?
Yeah, I got a Japanese version of that one.
And now, how do you feel about Tormato? Because Tormato doesn't get a lot of love.
Yeah, I know a lot of people have been asking me to make a video on that, like similar to my Love Beach one. So maybe that can be expected soon.
Is that what you want? And what are your thoughts on it?
Well, she's probably saving it for the video.
She can give us a little sneak peek.
I'll give you. I think it's all right. You know,
if you were to rate it out of 10, just rate it out of 10.
Probably about 6, 5 or 6. You know,
I'd give it a 3. So
that's a pretty generous rating.
I was gonna say, Mark, what would you rate it? Because I know you're not a big fan of Tormato.
2.
Yeah, I'd give it a 3.
And how would you rate Love Beach now? If you're gonna rate Love Beach,
me or her?
All of you.
Go ahead, Niamh.
I give it, a solid 6 just for side 2 alone. Side 2, yeah, I'm all right with that.
Mark, Love Beach?
In all fairness, I can't give it a rating because I've never listened to it. The cover of that album completely mortified me to the point of not going to go and buy it at all or touch it. So
the only reason it's kind of funny though, because Tormato and Love Beach came out around the same era, around the same time.
Yeah, I think they came out
were all the prog bands making crappy albums at that time? Like, what happened there?
Disco.
It was like 1978, 79, just a really bad time.
Yeah, well, yeah, that could be a point, but Niamh made a good point. I mean, I think that era was starting to be overwhelmed with the punk thing starting to come in. So they knew that they were starting to be looked at as dinosaurs. They were starting to be looked at as not relevant. So, maybe they thought that if they opened their shirts and oiled themselves up, maybe more people would go and start buying their records. You know what I mean? So...
The only reason I listened to that album was I saw a Bernie Sanders meme on it. So
I think I saw the same one.
So amazing. So
I still have my original. I still have my original OG, brand new, that I bought the day it came out. Love Beach. And the main reason I still have it is because I could never trade it in. No record store would ever take it.
Yeah, I would probably give it a solid 2.5. But yeah, it was not an easy listen.
Well, you know what though? This is an interesting comment though that you brought up. So Niamh, it's clear that we don't like some of these records. From the prog records that you've listened to, is there one in your collection that you listen to and go, wow, this is terrible. I'm so disappointed I got this.
Yeah, what's your number one? Like, oops, why did I buy this?
Well, it's not prog. It's more hair metal. I have a Poison album that I'm trying to get rid of desperately.
Is it the one with the tongue?
Yeah, it is. I listened to it. I think I was into my hair metal before I got into prog. Things like Motley Crue and stuff like that. And I bought that album because it was on sale at HMV, and I thought, well,
that's always a bad thing.
Why not? And I don't know to this day why I bought it.
Well, I mean, look, those bands were pretty popular at a time period, and there was a resurgence of the hair metal scene for a little while there in the 2000s. I mean, you had all these festivals like Rocklahoma coming back to America and stuff like that. So hair metal is still a pretty popular genre, believe it or not, especially in America, right?
I'm a huge fan, yeah.
So, I mean, Poison, like those first 2 Poison records, they sold millions of copies. So I'm not really surprised that you might have bought Open Up and Say Ah, which is that one I think that you bought, right?
Yeah,
But I mean, that record had like 4 solid #1 singles on it. You know what I mean? That's not to say that I love it and listen to it every day, but it is a popular record in that sense, right?
The thing about hair metal for me is that I either love it or I completely hate it.
Yeah,
there's not
Yeah,
there's not a
that's true.
middle. I mean, I love Skid Row and I love Van Halen, but
yeah.
I mean, I hate Winger. Like if that, so like yeah, so it's so you love it or hate it. It's just there's no middle. So
I think the only kind of hair, if you can call them hair metal band that I kind of have stuck with and still listen to are Def Leppard.
yeah.
Could be just a home thing because they're from the UK.
Well,
I saw them live, and you know, they released the concert I was actually at. They released on vinyl.
Yeah.
So I still kind of, you know, still love them.
But I think that those guys have kind of progressed a little bit beyond the tag of being a hair metal band. I think they're just looked at more as like a rock band now.
Yeah,
You know
I
what I
never
mean?
considered Def Leppard hair metal myself. I always consider them just hard rock. Just
Yeah.
like even Van Halen, I considered more hard rock, not metal. I mean, it was Poison and Skid Row and Twisted Sister. Those
Yeah.
are the bands that I looked at as hair metal. Slaughter,
Yeah.
and it was because you looked at the cover and there was the hair.
Yeah.
There's the hair. I mean, at one point, Scorpions were being called metal and hair metal. And I
because they tried to get into that scene because it was a huge scene then, right?
Yeah,
exactly. So they were making
hard rock.
Yeah, but they were making but songs like Rocky Like a Hurricane and that clearly fell into that whole genre along those bands, like with the Motley Crue when they came out.
That 1984 era of
like
of
between
rock
that time
trying to stay relevant.
Yeah, look at Motley Crue, Theater of Pain. It was a totally hair metal glam sort of record that they put out, right? Cinderella and bands like that, just like how Radio Gnome here mentioned, he put Cinderella, right? That's a band, that's another one that's from that era, right? So
exactly,
it's just a time period thing too, because people don't want to be left behind, right, in the scene. So you either play what's current and what's selling, or you take a chance and do whatever you want to do and hope that people continue to buy it, right? So Jeff put here, I think in the time any band with hair and bandanas were fit into that hair metal scene, which is probably true, right? I mean, if you had that look, then you kind of had that, that kind of stigma placed on you that you're a hair metal band. So just really quickly, because I'm going to have to get going here soon, guys. So I just wanted to say before I leave that it was really cool talking to you, Niamh. I had a great time talking with you. And if you get a chance, check out my Projekt Gemineye thing on the Bandcamp. I'm curious to get your comments, and I will. I think I've already subscribed to you, but I'll do if I have it, then I'll leave you a message.
That's Projekt Gemineye's latest album, right there.
That's a lovely cover.
Yeah, well, if you look at all his covers, all his covers are done by the same artist. So what's his name?
James McCarthy.
James McCarthy. He's the Roger Dean.
Yeah, it looks pretty Roger Dean inspired.
Yeah, he loves Roger Dean.
So check out Mark's stuff. Highly, highly. Mark is fantastic. He's taking pre-orders right now, people. Pre-orders right now for this album, releasing on teal-colored vinyl. Very, very soon. He is taking pre-orders, and he will ship to the UK, to Europe. He ships in a lot of places at really, really, really good shipping prices. How much to ship to the UK?
$8.
$8, and the
Canadian.
price of the album is $30 Canadian, with
so
$38 to ship to the UK, Canadian dollars. So
that's like nothing in British money.
Great pricing.
Yeah, that's like nothing in British money. You know what I mean?
Nothing in British money for his latest album. He's taking the pre-orders now. They are all numbered and signed by Mark.
I will definitely check them out. Yeah.
Cool. This is book 2. And book 1, I believe, is still available on vinyl as well. Right? Correct, Mark?
Yep. It is. So again, thanks, Niamh. I really appreciate talking with you, and thanks, Anthony, for having me on and letting me, hang out with you guys. And Mr. Jack's Trax, it was cool having you, buddy. Continue listening to the Rush, and we'll talk about Rush more when we talk to each other again next time. Okay.
Thank you.
I will talk to you soon, my friend.
Take care, guys.
See you, Mark.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Do we have any others? I was hoping Nazz would be here. He hasn't messaged back yet. I know he was planning to come on, Nazz Nomad. I'm going to message him again. Are you around, Nazz?
And then we said,
no, he was going to come on. And I picked up, what did I pick up today? I actually picked up a couple things today. Curbside, because we're in full lockdown, just like Niamh is, probably. We're in full lockdown, so it was shop online and then have the guy at the record store come out and drop them through the window of my car, basically.
And this
Only
is
This
Resurrections.
just came out on Friday. I picked this up. Rainbow.
Oh, lovely.
Rainbow Live in Birmingham, 2016. This just came out on Friday, and it's on this
Music.
optical media. These guys do fantastic pressings. They've released quite a few things in the last couple of months. Fantastic pressing company, and these are numbered. They're numbered. I think it's numbered, and they're on a colored vinyl as well.
You know, I've actually had a bad experience with them. The only thing I've ever bought from them was the Sebastian Bach Forever Wild.
Oh,
and
that's Sebastian Bach.
It's not their fault.
That's a disaster.
It was recorded on a VHS tape, and that's just the only experience I've ever had with them. So it's not.
But Optical Media, they are a very good pressing company.
I think I bought
and this is Ear Music, of course. Ear Music, which is a great company. And the last thing they released was The Ladder a few months ago. They released The Ladder. A couple of months ago, they released The Ladder and it is a fantastic pressing. Yes, it's The Ladder. Fantastic pressing. So I'm looking forward to hearing this because it's got all the Rainbow greats on it, plus it's got Deep Purple stuff on it. So I'm really looking forward to hearing this one. Live in Birmingham. So where's Birmingham from you, Niamh?
Birmingham is
my UK geography is terrible.
So if you picture what the UK looks like, that's what. Let's say this is London, which is where I am. Birmingham's up here.
Are you in London? You're in London proper?
Southwest of London, so I can take a train into central London very, very easily.
Are you in like a suburb or something? What's your suburb?
I'm very close to, if you know of the tennis competition Wimbledon.
Yeah.
I live literally in Wimbledon pretty much.
And that's your neighborhood, Wimbledon.
Oh well, my neighborhood it's just outside Wimbledon, so I like to say that to people because everyone's familiar with the Wimbledon tennis competition, and I live very much next to it.
So to get to downtown London takes you how long?
It takes me about 20 minutes by train.
Okay.
So very close, but Birmingham's up north, but like Midlands. So not Manchester, just below it, basically. Yeah. I've got
Let's see what the Peanut Gallery is saying here. Apparently Stunty's backstage. I haven't brought Stunty on yet because I don't like to have more than about 4 people on at a time because too many people start talking at once. And it goes kind of crazy. But Stunty is certainly welcome to come on. If he behaves himself, you're welcome to come on because we all know Stunty can be a little bit of a handful sometimes. And Jax, what's your next buy, Jax?
Well, the new Cheap Trick album obviously is on the top of my list currently. I've been exploring more of the Skyhooks. They're a band from Australia, and they're more psychedelic, not really prog, but kind of influenced by that. The way I actually got into them was I don't know if you've ever heard of Gordon Ramsay's show Hotel Hell. And the theme song for that is actually by them, and that's the way I found them. And they're so under the radar. I mean, you talk to any record store owner. I've always tried to find some of their records in local places, but you can only get them from like the UK or Australia. So I've been trying to track some of those down on Discogs, and I'll show you the one that I have. Take a magical mystery tour over here. But yeah, so this is the one with the song Hotel Hell, which is the theme song. It's called Guilty Until Proven Insane. And yeah, it's a really, really good record. So I'm definitely trying to get more of theirs. The Iron Maiden reissues on Parlophone sound awesome. They sound great. So
yeah, Iron Maiden's been doing a good job of reissuing their library.
Well, yeah, the ones from Europe sound great though, and I got the Peace of Mind reissue, and hopefully I'll be able to get like self-titled on that reissue kind of pressing. So yeah, that's definitely high on the list. So a couple of things, but yeah, I mean, right now it's really just online because it's not really safe here anymore. They're not. America, I'm sure, as you've seen in the news and stuff, the United States is not dealing with this too well. So no one is really like shut down anything. So people are just kind of going crazy at this point. But up here in Maryland, everything's pretty good.
We're dealing with it very badly. I mean, for a very tiny country, we're doing pretty awfully due to our government things. Like there's just like
you guys are having a tough time.
There's a whole, they're saying don't go to work, but go to work if you have to. Don't go outside, but go outside. It's
kind of the same. It's kind of the same here too. It's like we're in full lockdown for the last since early December, and we're not supposed to be going out any other than for picking up food, or if you have to go to work.
I mean, they introduced a full lockdown at the beginning of January, which they should have done ages ago because they had a month-long lockdown from, I think, mid-November to mid-December. Then they just let everyone out again. And then they pulled us all back in and said, no, you can't see any of your family for Christmas. You can't do this. You can't do that. You have to stay in your house. So we weren't able to see any family, which we usually do. And then they said, oh, right, we're going into another lockdown. And they're just confusing us really at the moment.
Well,
I mean, you UK and Canada, or at least Ontario here where I am in Canada, we're kind of pretty similar in what our lockdowns are involving right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's like you said, they pull you out of lockdown. They do it too quick. And of course, the numbers go back up.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like stay locked down. It's just like quit pulling us out, putting us back in, pulling us out, putting it back in. Just stay in lockdown until it's done with. I mean, until it's done with to a point where we're not going to have a second, third, fourth, fifth, whatever wave.
I mean, the way New Zealand have dealt with it, they're COVID-free pretty much now.
Yeah, exactly. They went into a full lockdown for a long time and squashed it. Closed their borders, squashed it all.
The thing about you guys is, at least you're in lockdown. Over here, like, even in Texas, some parts of Texas, you don't even have to wear a mask in some parts of Texas. It's crazy. And I mean, my grandmother has extreme pre-existing conditions. So I go to school with like double masks and they're doing a really good job there, but not really much else. So I'm glad I'm in Maryland and it's not a huge deal. We aren't a big state. We have Baltimore, which is pretty big, but cases are pretty low here. But yeah, like some parts of Texas and even some parts of Florida, they don't even require masks. So like, at least you guys are in lockdown and numbers are hopefully going down. But
there's a horrible, there's a kind of scandal thing going around at the moment. There's basically a travel ban, but at the same time there isn't over here, where you can't leave the UK, and obviously people can't come in. But they've said, well, you can leave the UK if it's essential work. It's essential. And all these quote-unquote social media influencers have been milking that, saying that they have to do brand deals or whatever, and it has to be overseas. Like loads of them are going to Dubai and stuff like that. And we lost a family member very recently, and my mother and my family aren't able to go over.
Yeah.
But these people are able to go over to Dubai to have fun on their birthdays or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely disgusting and selfish. I hate it so much. It just really makes me hate this country more than I already do.
I mean, right now people are more selfish than ever, and it's not the time to be at all. Like there couldn't be a worse time. So yeah, it's just people are getting vaccinated, hopefully, and hopefully everything will be fine by 2022. But I guess we have to kind of wait it out until then.
My dad's got health conditions, so I'm really trying to stay away from as many people as possible. I mean, I'm only really going outside if I have to, just to walk around the park or something like that. But because we have this new variant that's spawned from Kent, that's apparently more deadly and very much more transmittable over here. So they're really not doing anything much about it. They're saying the same things and trying to put up all these scary adverts of like COVID patients trying to get us to stay inside, and it's manic over here. And there's people still who aren't like staying inside. I mean, I've seen people who I went to school with, who I follow on social media, who are meeting,
crazy,
crazy amounts of people at once, and you just really want to say, why are you doing that? You're the reason that we're still in the situation.
Everybody handles it so different, and it's just it gets so confusing because everybody handles it so different. Some people couldn't care less, and it's just so crazy, and that's, I guess, why people
I think definitely a thing that I've noticed over here is as soon as they announced that the target of this virus was the elderly and sick people were like, well, I'm young, I have no problems, I'm going to go out and I'm going to be fine. But yet, you're still carrying it. You can still pass it to someone who will then get sick. Yeah. It's unbelievable.
Hello 45 audio file, Michael and Stunty. The link is back up there for anybody that wants to come on. I try to only have 4 people on at a time, just to keep the clutter down. But we'll see what happens. I do have somebody waiting in the wings here. Let's see who we've got. And we've got Nazz. Mr.
Hey, everyone.
Nazz Nomad, how are you doing, buddy?
Good, how are you?
Good, how are you doing? You still got your hat on.
Good. It's cold here.
It's cold there.
It's very cold here.
I don't know if Niamh knows Nazz. Do you know his channel, Nazz Nomad?
I'm not familiar, no.
You should definitely sub him up and check him out. He's a long-time standing member of the vinyl community.
All right. Nice. I know. Yeah, I know. I've seen your channel before. So yes, I am somewhat familiar. Yes. So how's everyone doing?
Good, thank you. How are you doing?
Good.
Did you come in from? What did you come in from doing? Any recording of any sort? Any new records?
Of course.
Of course. Nazz always has new records.
I found a few today.
Yeah. And what did you find? Any you care to show us?
I'm trying to look around here. Give me a second here. What do I have?
Not like you don't have probably a couple hundred records all around you at the moment.
What did I find? I found Anthony Phillips, X of Genesis. I think it's his second solo album. And then I found a solo album by Bill Bruford.
Another great album.
Ooh, what else did I find?
These are your thrift store finds?
Yeah, that's this morning. I found some other stuff too, but I don't know where it is. I was just watching them too. Yeah, but I found about 4 or 5 today.
Very good, very good.
Yeah. So what were we all talking about?
We've been talking about a lot of prog today because we got Niamh here, who's of course the prog nerd. Why did you decide on the prog nerd as your name?
Certified prog nerd.
I couldn't think of anything else more interesting. I mean, I was trying to call myself my name, but then I just decided to think, well, if I make my channel about something that I'm really into at the moment, then I could just class myself as someone who is knowledgeable about progressive rock.
Well, what happens if you get out of progressive rock? You're gonna have to change your name to the metal nerd or the punk nerd or the.
I mean, I've talked about stuff that isn't necessarily prog on my channel, obviously with my dad's collection being so much more eclectic than mine, because we've got all the prog records up in my room, but downstairs we've got all the kind of more classic rock, Obviously.
And does your dad, I know I've seen your dad in your videos. Does your dad still actively record shop, crate dig and whatnot? I mean, not now because of the pandemic, but
we use Discogs a lot more than
he still is constantly purchasing new stuff himself.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, ever since we've kind of gone into the kind of more underground prog bands, we've just been searching Discogs almost every night for different albums.
Now, do your dad and you change albums back and forth?
Well, we do borrow from each other sometimes, yeah, because he's got, I think he's got the Jethro Tull stuff downstairs, and he's got the Doors stuff downstairs, and I've obviously got all the prog stuff. I mean, there's a constant debate who should have the Emerson, Lake and Palmer albums.
So dad comes sneaking into your room and steals your albums when you're not looking, and you do the same?
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Yeah, it's like my daughter does to me. She come down and pilfer my collection, and I'll go up to her room and I go like, "What albums of mine do you have right now?" Because she's been getting into a lot of things that I never thought she'd get into. So she'll sneak them off to her room, and then I'll find them under her turntable. And like, okay, just remember to put it back when you're done with it. But
well, going back
on there and are gone.
Going back to
good.
if you want to go back to the Discogs thing, I know you're actually a seller on Discogs. So
Yeah.
I know you made a video on that, which was really interesting. So I mean, I would like to know a little bit more about that. It seems really cool. I mean, you made the whole post office trip, and it seemed like a really cool process. So
it's good. It's good fun because, you know, we have albums obviously that we don't listen to anymore that we would like to maybe, instead of just get rid of, just pass it on to someone else who'd want it more than we would want it.
Oh, that does remind me, Niamh. I did watch your video about you mailing out records, and I do have two constructive comments, if you don't mind me giving you constructive comments.
Of course.
I noticed that your mailers are very, very thin.
Yes, because we tend to recycle the boxes that we use from, you know, ones that we get in, but we've just.
I would recommend thicker, like corrugated cardboard, because
we
certainly
just got
mailing locally they may be okay, but if you're going to mail something internationally, they can take a beating.
Yeah, I mean, recently we decided to just buy bigger and more sturdy cardboard boxes for our albums, but they are pretty pricey. But I did get a big pack of big boxes to package.
The other thing I would recommend, because I don't know if you do it, I'm just going by what you showed in your video, is that when you send them out, that you take it out of the sleeve.
Yeah, I got a lot
behind, because you showed it just like inside the album jacket. Put your vinyl outside the jacket so that it doesn't tear its way through the top.
Yeah, I've started doing that now since because quite a lot of people actually picked up on that. So I just
that's a definite must do.
Well, it can go through the jacket, but it also gets very scuffed and scratched sometimes when you get those.
They slide around. I mean,
they slide around and they're rubbing against paper sleeves. But as long as you're not shipping your records in pizza boxes, which I've had before, I think
I had that very recently.
I had one recently.
The about that was that the person who sent it to me in the pizza box was from Scotland, so it wasn't like it was traveling halfway across the world. It was just traveling down the country.
Got sauce on a Skid Row record, completely insane.
I mean, pizza boxes aren't the right shape. You know, they are the right shape. Yeah.
I mean, when I got it, I had no idea people sent them in pizza boxes. I thought that's quite clever in a way.
Yeah, I was definitely weirded out when I got a record from eBay on my door in a pizza box. It was like kind of strange, but yeah, I mean, it showed up okay, so I guess that's a positive.
Yeah, I mean, I got this album actually recently from obviously I think I mentioned that someone sent me a bunch of these older Emerson, Lake and Palmer posters, and he also sold me this Nice record, if you're familiar with them. The band that Keith Emerson was in before Emerson, Lake and Palmer. It's a very good record if you haven't checked it out yet. But that was one that I actually discovered through that person's Discogs page.
I'm just trying to fix myself here. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. What was I going to say? Nazz. So, another band of ours that Nazz and I have been talking about, who have been around a long time. Anybody that watches our streams know that Nazz and I talk about this band a lot.
Golden Earring.
Is Niamh? Niamh, are you familiar with Golden Earring, Niamh?
Very
Your dad must be.
Oh, my dad, yeah, definitely. I think he's mentioned them a couple of times.
Because certainly there is a period of Golden Earrings history that is very prog. I think Nazz would agree with that. Yeah, Golden Earring has gone through many, many sounds and genres of music. But they did have a heavy prog age, and certainly there's a couple albums I would recommend you listen to from Golden Earring that are heavily prog. But yes, Nazz and I were talking. Golden Earring officially retired yesterday. They were formed 60 years ago in 1961 under the name The Tornadoes. Their first album, 1965, under the Golden Earrings. Then they changed their name to Golden Earrings in 67. Then The Golden Earring in 69, when they made their 8 Miles High prog album. And then last but not least, of course, Golden Earring in 1970. And they unfortunately retired officially yesterday when it was revealed that their lead guitarist, George Koymans, lead guitarist and one of the vocalists, was diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease and can no longer perform. So a sad day for us fans of Golden Earring, because they are. Not, I mean, it's not like they had released their. I mean, their last studio album was 2015, and they did release a single in 2019. But you know, it's always tough when you hear a band is forced to retire due to health problems. Well, we can only hope the best for George with his Lou Gehrig's disease. Unfortunately, Lou Gehrig's is a terminal disease, and I can imagine what's going to happen to George over the next few years, because it's something to do with, you know, loss of your muscle control, and I gather Lou Gehrig's eventually gets to your lungs and it makes it impossible to breathe. Yeah. So kind of sad there. The band issued a statement yesterday that, you know, obviously without George, that they can't go on. Yeah.
There is a lot of
they've given us 60 years of music.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I mean, they've released so much amazing music that
absolutely. I mean, 26 studio albums, 9 live albums, countless singles, countless comps, and I'm sure there's going to be stuff popping up still. I mean, they're in the process of remastering and reissuing all their previous albums. In fact, I'm waiting for both Nazz and myself are waiting for the Switch, which is just released a week ago. A remaster of that is on its shipping from the UK right now to us. So
yes, it is.
It is on the blue vinyl for Music on Vinyl.
It's very sad. Yep.
A great album, one of the great ones in their library.
So that was I came out of the blue, didn't it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess it's, you know, it's not a surprise, but you know, all these bands, all these great bands are getting older. I mean, you know, look at Emerson, Lake and Palmer. How many members of that are left? Just Carl Palmer, right? Everybody. Greg's gone. Keith is gone.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, we're at that time now where all those bands are, you know, in the 70s.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're going to see more and more of these great musicians going sooner than later.
Yeah, there's not. I mean, I was talking to there's a store here called the Soundgarden, and they were actually rated the second best record store in the world, which was amazing. But I'm really good buddies with the owner, and we go back and forth a lot, and we've done some videos together. But he actually knows John Densmore of the Doors extremely well, and he was talking about how a lot of his like good friends are just, there's not many of them left, and it is a very, very sad thing. On
top of the whole COVID as well.
Yeah, I mean, John Prime passed away from it. The bassist from Fountains of Wayne. I'm not a huge fan of those guys, but the bassist from Fountains of Wayne passed away because of COVID. So there's been a lot of deaths going around. Obviously, Neil Peart, my favorite drummer of all time, probably the most inspirational figure in my life ever. Passed away in January. So yeah, just a lot of I mean, Cheap Trick's still running, but I can't imagine they'll be going for much longer. So yeah, I mean, Paul McCartney, I wouldn't really call it an album, but he released something. So yeah, there's just, I don't think any of it's going to be going on for much longer.
I'm surprised Ozzy Osbourne is still hanging on to life.
Oh my God. That guy's got 9 lives. Ozzy Osbourne? Yeah.
It's just Sharon. But you know, you see what it is Ozzy Osbourne passed away a number of years ago, and Sharon Osbourne uses him like a mannequin. You know, like she does a ventriloquist act with him now.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
That's about as ridiculous as the Paul is dead theory. So thank you for developing a new
Sharon
conspiracy
Osbourne
theory.
pretty much controls Ozzy's career.
Yeah,
Has so for the last 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, the really bad thing about that is the money, because all of his a lot of his album, No More Tears, you can only get like a great reissue that doesn't cost $1 million in that box set, and she won't let him release it. Besides, in that box set, that's $500 for
Jeez.
yeah, and then the whole marketing ploy there is his signature, even though it was an auto pen. So like, it's not really. I definitely wouldn't even think about getting that.
I will admit though that Ordinary Man, Ozzy's last studio album, from last year, it's my favorite Ozzy solo album. So even though it's probably all completely auto tuned, but
yeah,
I really liked it. I just really liked it.
I have a CD copy over there. I didn't think it was that bad. I definitely didn't think it was the best.
I think it was the best thing he'd done in years and years and years and years and years.
I mean, Black Rain was pretty much, you couldn't get any worse than that. So he built up from that. I forgot what he released in the middle there, but yeah. So yeah, I'm surprised Ozzy's still hanging on. I can't believe that.
But I know that I just pulled these two out because Niamh's here, and I know she's big into ELP, and as we all call it, ELP. I think the Emerson, Lake and Palmer kind of got dropped when I was a teenager. Everybody just said ELP. There was ELO. There was
ELO,
ELP,
yeah.
But here's two that I don't know if you have these in your collection. Well, you haven't shown them, so I guess they're not in your collection. But if you can find them,
I've got that one.
Have you got this one?
Yeah, I do actually. It's up here somewhere.
Okay, I haven't seen you show this one. That's why I said. So that one's great. And then this one from the last Record Store Day.
Yeah, I got that one as well.
There you go. Both great live albums. Because there's
I think you showed that one on your channel.
Emerson, Lake and Palmer on Record Store Day. The thing that I've noticed about Record Store Day, and maybe one of the things that almost pisses me off about Record Store Day to some extent, is that the guys that organize Record Store Day seem to dig from the same well of artists year after year after year after year after year. And there's so many artists out there that I never have ever seen a Record Store Day release from, ever. Yet there's pretty much guaranteed on Record Store Day there's going to be a Judas Priest drop,
a David Bowie,
Bowie
one, yeah.
An Emerson, Lake and Palmer,
Cheap Trick,
a Jethro Tull. There's bands that are always Hendrix. Yeah, I mean Dio. There's always a Dio picture disc.
Always Dio. Yeah.
There's always a Dio picture disc.
It's so weird too. It's always Fleetwood Mac. Always some sort of Fleetwood Mac.
The alternate Fleetwood Macs. Every.
I mean, I got that one. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I have the alternate rumors over there, and I mean, it's cool that they're doing it.
Pearl Jam, John Prine,
John Prine, yep.
There's this well of musicians.
Grateful Dead, always Grateful
Dead. And it's always the same one every Record Store Day, which is a shame. And I'm getting kind of tired of it. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but this past year, it was mostly live albums.
Yeah.
Not a lot of the live albums were well recorded. They weren't much more than a step up from a bootleg.
The one that really surprised me, and I hate to go back to Cheap Trick, but that Cheap Trick release, I think it was called Out to Get You, that sounded great. So that was my highlight. The Skid Row Slave to Grind sounded amazing. That got released for Record Store Day.
I would rather just see great studio albums.
I agree.
Remastered for Record Store Day exclusive releases than them digging in the well of leftover tapes that weren't released for a very good reason.
I think there's
a reason these tapes haven't been released for probably 40 years.
I think there was a Wishbone Ash live album that I picked up on this year or last year, which was
we never got that over here. Wishbone Ash, a group like that, I'd like to see some of their studio albums that are really hard to find. I'd like to see some of those remastered for Record Store Day.
That's what Record Store Day is for me. And I've talked to Michael. He's the I think the co-founder of Record Store Day. I've emailed it with him back and forth a few times. But what my favorite Record Store Day, I guess, feature is albums that you cannot find being released on a cool variant. That's the purpose for me. I don't really need an alternate. It's cool, but like I don't need it on black vinyl and it sounds the same thing as I don't like. It's not really necessary. The thing that's necessary is albums that are pretty much impossible to find being re-released, like Slave to Grind, and I would love to see Subhuman Race be released, or even more of the Rush reissues that you can't find, and some of the Yes stuff. Like, I mean, that's what Record Store Day is to me.
I'd love to see some more Rush stuff in the Record Store Day.
Well, I think Rush had the Closer to the Heart 7-inch that was released on red vinyl. That was cool. But yeah, it's just, I would love to see that. I'm sure it'll happen now that Neil is gone, which is a horrible thing to say, but that's what happens. I mean, with Bowie, I'm sure it's going to happen with Van Halen. A lot of these records are going to get reissued, like Balance. You can't find Balance. That's going to get reissued and it's going to be widely available. But I'm hoping that a lot of that Rush stuff will, like Counterparts, Test for Echo, Vapor Trails, all of that later Rush stuff, 90s, 2000s, that they released on Atlantic in like 2015, but you going for $200-$300 now. So that's really the purpose for Record Store Day for me. Albums that you can't find that are being reissued on colored vinyl and other cool variants like that. But it's not that anymore. It used to be that, but it's kind of turned into a live album release and just alternate copies and demos and that kind of thing. I don't want to hear Mick Fleetwood in his room, and I'm not saying the Alternate Rumors was that, but I don't want to hear with a cassette deck and him and an acoustic guitar at 9:00 in the morning when he woke up from bed. I don't need that on vinyl. Like, that's not the purpose for vinyl. For me is the sound quality, so I don't need that. It's just so it's turned into something that it wasn't. So I do hope they go back to releasing rare releases.
It's probably more like a marketing thing at this point because it's becoming so widely known nowadays. Record Store Day.
It's the what did Brian say? I forgot. It's like the best-selling day for music. Like it's like not even vinyl. Like the most music sales are made every single year now, like nationally.
Because they had 3 Record Store Days last year. They had 4. I think we only have. I only remember there being 3, but if there's 4,
well, the drops and then Black Friday. Black Friday.
Oh yeah, that's true. I mean, that's 3 more than we already.
Now, are you a Record Store Day goer, Niamh? I know Jax is.
I remember before COVID, when I was getting into vinyl, I'd always try and go to my local record store, but I'd always get there too late because I was planning to go to one of the ones last year while the stores were still open. But my boyfriend did not want to wake up at 8:30 in the morning to come with me to the store.
People are crazy. They will wake up the day before to be in line first. It's crazy.
I remember seeing people like camping outside my local record store. It's insane.
What you need to do is you need to find a little shop. I have one. It's called Celebrated Summer.
Like mine.
Yeah, you need to find a little shop that gets a lot of stuff. Like Spin Me Round, for example. They're in a mall. I mean, their YouTube channel obviously gets a lot of attraction. No one's going to expect a mall record store to get a million Record Store Day releases. It's just, that's not what goes through their head. I mean, Amoeba, obviously, they're going to get a million releases, but then you're going to get the same amount of people in that line wrapping around the entire building.
Hey, Googlicha.
But what I did was I found a shop that doesn't have a lot of customers and that gets a lot of stuff. And then
I've found a record store recently that I'd never known about because there's in the UK, I don't know if it's a US thing as well, but there's a chain of record stores called Banquet Records, which there's loads of them dotted around the UK. And there's a big one very close to where I live, which is where most people will go for the record store days because they're mainly like a newer albums kind of record store, newer releases. And I only discovered a secondhand record store not too long ago, which I think is personally a lot better because I have more of the stuff that I like in there, obviously, and they have loads of the Record Store Day releases in there as well that I wasn't able to find at Banquet Records because they was all sold out or just didn't stock it. So
like the store I go to here in Port Credit, my #1 record store, he never has a massive line. He gets all the he basically, you go in a couple months before record store day, he reveals the list, he asks all his regular goers, what do you want me to get in? He makes sure to put those titles on the list. Not that he'll get them, because all record stores get what they get. No record store has ever really truly promised a record store day title. It's like you can put in your request and then they'll send you whatever the hell they're going to send you.
You can order like hundreds of copies and we'll get like 3. Like
exactly. So he'll put in an order. He'll say, I want this, 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 and this. This is what all my customers are looking for. I want this. I'd like so many copies of this. And then the actual boxes that come 2 or 3 days before record store day will probably have a quarter of what he's requested, with only a couple of copies of each. But at least with that store that I go to, there's never a massive lineup. I've been number 1 in the line so many times, and I just go there like an hour before they open. So, which is good for me. I'm lucky in that respect. I hope his store doesn't get crazy busy.
I know my dad preferred a lot of the record store day releases in the States because they had some Grateful Dead stuff, obviously being his favorite band of all time.
Jerry Garcia released a massive box set of
he got that.
Yeah. He did. Nice.
He did get it. We couldn't get it over here, so we had to order from the States. And he tried to contact one of our local record stores to see if they could possibly get it in, and they weren't able to. So we just found it on Discogs for a reasonable price, and we got it in recently.
What was good about?
And yes, to answer Nick Pantazi's question, Nick put, Anthony, considering the crowd, I assume you're aware of the Yes Live at the House of Blues recording is coming out on vinyl, and of course, yes, it did. It dropped yesterday. It is available on Amazon right now. The House of Blues concert by Yes. I decided to skip that one just because I've gotten, I got the Songs as one, which is really great. And I'm getting the Symphonic Yes remaster that's coming out in March. That recently. Yeah, there's a remaster coming out in March of Symphonic Yes. So I'm going for that one, and I'm going to skip the House of Blues. What about you, Nazz? Did you go for the House of Blues? Are you going to go for it?
Yeah, mine's going to be here tomorrow.
You did order it, huh?
They were on a really good order price, so I got them both as always. Yeah. Like I said, I should have it tomorrow. I'll let you know how it is.
I gather the Anthrax that I got yesterday is on a colored vinyl. And
I never got mine yet. Well, you're so close to the distribution.
I guess you weren't here when I showed this, Nazz. I picked this up today.
What's that?
Rainbow. Live in Birmingham.
Oh, is that the 2000? Is that 2016?
On Optimal Media.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. So I picked that up
so
today.
It's not decent.
Numbered ear music.
Look at. I don't know if did I show you this one?
No, you didn't.
I don't know if I showed you this one, but
I didn't know you were a Dead fan.
It's the Grateful Dead. I have friends who are bigger fans than I am, but I'm slowly getting their stuff. But American Beauty exclusive on the Pink Rose vinyl. That one's pretty cool. I don't know if you guys have that in the station or. That's a good one, and the pressing's really good as well, actually.
Well, David, you've been your
it's the 50th anniversary copy, and on.
David, your daughter lives in the UK, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yeah, she lives in London.
He lives in London. Yeah. So David's been out your way, Niamh, to do record shopping in a lot of your record stores. So you guys probably have a little something in common there. Because you've been to quite a what record stores have you been into in London? There,
twice a year to London record shopping.
You're breaking up, Dave. You're breaking up.
Yeah.
I go to Flashback. There's 2 locations of that. I go to Flashbacks. There's 2 locations of that. I go to Sister Ray. There's a couple other ones I go to all the time, but those are the main ones I go to. And there's a couple others. The Camden they're kind of slotted around. And there's Camden Market, which can be a little bit of a zoo. But Camden Market, I try to hit during the week. It's not as touristy, but there's always something good to be had down there. So usually I go there with a list of about 15 stores that I want to hit. And last time I went, I did all 15, and that's when I got that Golden Earring record. About from that. Can't remember what that store was called now, but yeah, so I go about twice a year to go record shopping, and I bring back way too many records.
Now, Niamh, do you and your dad go record shopping together, or you guys prefer to do it when you can go out? Did you guys go together ever, or did you?
Oh, we love going record shopping together. I mean,
that's great.
We will search, because usually I'll see something that he likes and that we both like. For example, I think I found a Police record in a record shop. One of the only ones that my dad actually likes. I was like, "Oh, this is a great album." He was like, "Oh yeah, you're right." So
what album was it?
Good question. It's in this.
Regatta de Blanc, Alanis de Moore.
Yeah, Alanis de Moore. That one.
Alanis de Moore.
And we just pick up off each other. I mean, I found stuff like digging through things that my dad would like and picked up for him from record shops when he's not able to go out. So we kind of share that kind of love of going record shopping together. Every time we go away somewhere, whether it be abroad or just somewhere within the UK, we always try and find at least one record store to go to. I mean, when we went to New York a couple of years ago, we ended up bringing home like 2 rucksacks full of records because we'd been around so much.
Record shopping in New York is the best record besides Tokyo. I've never been to Tokyo, but I've heard awesome stories about it. Record shopping in New York, which was probably the best record shop experience of my life. It was awesome. I mean, we took the train there. Actually, it's like a 4-hour train ride, and it didn't even feel like anything, but it was so awesome. We stayed in this cool hotel, and we brought home like 3 suitcases full of records. So
we were getting loads as well. It was so fun. I mean, I think we went back to the same record store twice. Like I think we went once at the beginning and then once towards the end of the week. And eventually my mum started to get a bit more annoyed at the fact we just kept buying loads more records because we'd find stuff that we didn't see before. And it was great. I mean, I remember one shop in particular. I don't remember the name, but it had one floor was like all vinyl records, and then the bottom floor was like t-shirts and stuff. I thought it was so cool. It's great, that me and my dad share the kind of same love of music, love the same kind of music, so that we can actually go out together and go record shopping.
Yeah, if you want to go back to the vinyl archivist comment there, Anthony.
Right
so a cool story about Tokyo, and there's an owner of a record store here named Tony, and he goes there all the time. The thing about Japanese record stores, they are complete audiophiles, and if there is if someone breathes on a record, that price goes all the way down. And what people will do here in the States is they go to Tokyo, get a crap ton of records for dirt cheap because they're not in amazing shape. Like, even if there's like a light little scratch, they'll mark the price all the way down, and then they'll sell it for like 3 times the price over here. So it's really expensive when the cover doesn't have any ring wear or the record is absolutely flawless, like better than it comes out of the factory. But like if someone breathes on it, it goes way down, and it's amazing. Like, you spend all your money in one store and then realize there's 5 stores down the street that you're even on right now. It's just,
I remember when I went to Brighton, which is south from where I live, it's a huge area of record stores because Brighton's such a big into the arts. It's very much a musical area. And we went into one of the shops, and this one particular shop sold just a whole section of Japanese Queen album, like Queen pressings.
Yeah.
I found one which was, I think, News of the World tour from 1977 on green vinyl, which is in somewhere. That I don't remember. It did cost us quite a lot, but I mean, it looks amazing. So
Nazz's Wi-Fi went out, so he'll be back as soon as his Wi-Fi gets fixed. He also has Wi-Fi problems.
One site that I would recommend to you, Niamh, I don't know if I can put it in the chat because I'm not a moderator, but Rollin' Rex, I don't know what shipping is like to the UK. They have some awesome Queen releases, a ton of King Crimson releases, and their stuff is awesome, and sounds pretty great. All in color vinyl, ton of Japanese copies. So I would really recommend that. It's called Rollin' Rex, and it's definitely awesome. Yeah, I would totally recommend that. And
then Vinyl Archivist, I see you're out there. I hope your surgery went well. Vinyl Archivist, of course, if I got this right, he had a complete knee reconstruction surgery yesterday or the day before. A couple days ago, he had his knee rebuilt. So he's recovering from some serious knee surgery. So I hope, Pat, you're doing well, my friend.
He's saying he's walking normally, so that is.
And if he's welcome to come on, if he wants to drop on Canada, if he's feeling up to it, welcome to come on, of course. But understand if he can't. And Groovy Lisa's out there. Hi, Groovy Lisa. If you want to come on, we're always welcome to have you come on as well. Get another girl up here. So how's the stream? How are you enjoying yourself on the stream, Niamh?
Yeah, I'm having a great time.
Yeah, they're fun, aren't they? And you can do these on your channel as well. All as you saw, you just clicked on that link and it took you to StreamYard, right?
Yeah.
So if you go to StreamYard, you create a free account on StreamYard. There's a paid and there's a free. The paid allows you unlimited streaming in a month, and you can have up to 10 people on at the same time. But honestly, even with 6 people, like the free version allows you 6 people. But even 6 people, if everybody starts talking, it's just a mess.
Yeah,
you know
I mean, 4 is, I'm sure, the best.
I think 4 is the ideal because when you get, I've seen 10 people on a stream and it's just a zoo.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's craziness.
But I like these because, coming into the vinyl community quite recently, talking to people who share a love of collecting vinyl and playing vinyl as much as I do, it comforts me.
Hello.
It's Groovy Lisa.
It's Groovy Lisa. Yes,
Hey, Groovy Lisa. And this way, Niamh, you get to meet a lot of the.
Hello, I've been subscribed to your channel I've been subscribed to her channel for I think a month now, or maybe.
Yeah. How long it's been around?
It's been around a month.
Well, when I first discovered her channel through her first video, and I was like, I'm gonna subscribe. Yeah.
I mean, that video, your dad's favorite prog albums, it came in my recommended, and I was in the first 1,000. That's gonna be a bumper sticker. I was Niamh's first 1,000. That's gonna be my new bumper sticker.
Unfortunately for me, Niamh, the first time I heard of you, the thing that came up in my recommended was your.
Yeah, that was the same for
community video.
That was the same for me, Anthony. That's the first video that came up for me.
I thought that was awesome. I mean, you don't really see a lot of people standing up to that, so I thought
that came up in my recommended list as my first for Niamh was the vinyl community video, but it was not the one I actually watched first. I ended up watching one of her other ones where she was talking about albums, and then I went back later and actually watched.
Well, I've watched all the ones that she had with her dad because it just reminds me of being with my dad and how he got me into music. So and then I told my dad, hey, we should do a video, and so my dad agreed to do one without his face on camera.
Yeah, so Niamh, create your StreamYard account, and then you'll be able to link it to your YouTube. And with the free one, you're allowed 20 hours a month of streaming and up to 6 people on the camera at a time, which is more than enough.
That's great.
I only do these every 2 weeks. I only stream every other weekend for like 4 hours, so that's fine for me. I mean, some people stream every day and they want the bells and whistles, but that's 20 some odd bucks a month. No, but I think that would be good because if you had a stream on your channel, Niamh, I'd certainly drop by your channel and it gives the vinyl community chance to come on with you and lets you interact with them. And I think
you get to see like a wide variety of people from the vinyl community who collect different aspects of things. So it's good, to interact.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun.
Yeah.
Any negatives since in the month that you've been on the vinyl community and on streaming doing your channel?
I definitely have
any
a few.
negatives yet, Niamh? Have you had any bad feedback? Any negative comments? Bad experiences, rude people, anything like that yet?
I think the worst. I mean, I'm pretty good at brushing off kind of things that are directed at me and my channel because
we all get. Everybody's gonna get them. I mean,
But
haters, trolls are trolls, but.
The one thing that really, really does bother me the most is the patronizing people who are the prog rock elitists of the prog community who come onto my channel and try and outsmart me in some sort of way, trying to say, well, I got something wrong when I know I haven't got it wrong, but just trying to pick at me because I'm 19 and I'm a female, I'm a woman, and that I don't know what I'm talking about or something like that.
That comes with the territory. That comes with the territory.
I mean, people have said, "Oh, go back to listening to like the Spice Girls or something like that." I
get that comment too. Like, "Oh, you're so young. Why are you into the music that I grew up on?" I'm like, "What? Young people can't be into classic rock. We have to listen to it."
I hate it so much.
As I say in all my videos, a lot of my videos and when I'm on stream is, to me, music is ageless, raceless, genderless, timeless. I'll listen to, I don't, you're never too young to listen to an artist. You're never too old to listen to an artist.
Nope.
Music is music, and there's so much music out there. I don't get stuck in any genre, and people know that, and I get a lot of fun picked at me because I listen to, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, 2021s. I listen to synth pop. I listen to everything. Yeah. But I don't just stick in one genre. I listen to it all because there's so much fantastic music in the world. There's so much music.
People who are, around my age, maybe younger, maybe older, who are getting into nowadays lesser known genres like prog. It's carrying it on. It's carrying the torch from what.
Absolutely, we need people to carry the torch. To carry the torch.
My question is for all of those people, and I always respond and then delete it because I don't say anything rude, or I say something rude sometimes, but usually I don't say anything rude and say, what is going to happen when you are not with us and your music that you grew up with is not going to be around anymore because you're discouraging people from listening to it. What is going to happen? Do you want the music that you grew up listening to, like Rush, yes, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, all of that kind of stuff, to just die out and never get listened to again? It's just not how it's gonna work. So
I know for a fact that when I started getting into prog, my dad was thrilled. Like, he was so happy at the fact that I was listening to all these bands that he was listening to when he was the same age as me.
I mean, my grandfather, I have a video coming out shortly. It's kind of my take. I don't know if you've seen, do you know Norman Nazz? They call him Mazzy. Have you ever watched his channel?
I don't think I have, no.
He does this thing called whack-a-mole.
That's what I was gonna bring up. So me and my grandfather are doing our take on whack-a-mole, which is where he's gonna pick a few albums out and I get to like tell the story.
I like seeing this.
So like the memory of where I was when I got it, and a lot of my records are inherited from him. So I think that'll be a very interesting. We've already filmed it, it's already edited, and that's another thing about this. I know on one of your recent videos, someone complained that you edited too much.
That's just silliness.
I edit the crap out of my videos, and
someone genuinely just commented, "Oh, all the best YouTube videos don't use editing." It's like
so wrong. Completely the opposite.
You know what's funny is that same person actually realized that I was talking about them in that video, commented saying, "Oh, I'm really sorry," then deleted it.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to edit videos. Like the clips that I did with my dad, the audio that I got of my dad talking, it took me like an hour to edit. Yeah. But at the end of the day, that's the only way I was going to get it up there.
Yeah, I probably spend twice as much time just editing my video than filming it. I do my videos in one take, and then if you screw up, you can just go back later.
I don't do my videos in one take.
I do it. I stop it. Like, I'm kind of insane about it because I've learned. So I don't know. Again, channel 33 RPM. That's kind of my envision. He's taught me a lot about what to do and what's good and what's bad. He's been a huge inspiration for me for YouTube. But I got a software. I pay like $10 for it a month, and I crap edit my. I mean, I don't think it's that great. But then people comment and say your editing is amazing. So it's like, if you don't edit your videos, I don't think it's going to be that great.
It's quite amusing seeing these comments, because I actually did a course in editing for 2 years, like professional editing.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
And it's not rocket science anyhow. It's not rocket science to edit a video anyhow these days.
I mean, I use green
it's so
screen.
easy
It
to
cuts
do.
out all the stuff that you don't really need in a video. Like, for example, like it'll be like if I'm taking out an album to show a colored pressing, I don't think anyone needs to see me pulling it out and putting it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of green screen even, so it's.
Let's see how long this lasts.
Welcome, Pat.
Patrick.
Welcome, Pat. Nice
Hello,
to see
hello,
you.
Pat.
Nice to see you, Pat. How did your
So,
surgery
how's
go?
everything, Pat? How are
How
you
you
doing?
feeling?
Well, we'll see how this goes.
My dad had knee surgery. He had both his knees replaced, and he's doing good. So I hope the best for you.
I made it up the stairs. So.
And so the new person here, of course, is Niamh. So Niamh, this is Pat, the vinyl archivist. I don't know if you've ever watched his channel.
I've spoken to her.
He's an expert on pressings. He's a really great guy, really nice
Yeah,
guy.
he knows his pressings. He's the
One of the
to go
nicest
to.
people in the VC for sure. So nice to have you on,
Yes.
Pat. And I hope you're
thank
feeling
you.
good, buddy.
Yeah, I'm actually doing pretty well. I'm surprised. It's only day 2.5, and I'm already up and walking normally. So
That's good.
it told me it'd be weeks before I could use the stairs. So.
And look who
hello,
else we
Rachel.
have here.
Well, if Rachel's here, I'm getting the hell out of here. So
She's
sorry.
the queen. She's the queen of live.
Welcome,
stream.
Rachel. Rachel,
You're
Pat,
trouble,
look at
Patrick.
that. Let's put all the girls.
I have
together.
an excuse. I'm on drugs.
Let's put here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put Jax in the middle. We're gonna put Pat up here. We're gonna put the mom in the middle here, and then we're gonna put the two youngins on either side. There we go. We got the ladies.
Rachel. Technically, Rachel is old enough to be my mom. 'cause
I
she
know,
could've-
grandma.
Or your dad.
grandma. Hi, Nick.
So welcome,
How you
Rachel.
doing, everybody? I'm
Hey,
doing
Jack,
good.
how you doing?
So
Good.
Have you,
Haven't
have
seen
you
you in a
seen
while, Jack.
Rachel's? Have you met Rachel before, Niamh?
I don't think I have, no.
Hi, Nima. Where you live? Where in the world are you?
UK,
What
England.
part of the UK?
England, London.
London.
Don't get her
Now-
started.
okay, now we're in London.
No.
Are you in Whitechapel?
No.
Are you in St. John's Wood? Are you in Lewisham?
You shouldn't have answered,
Are you in
Niamh.
Clerkenwell? Are you in
No.
St. James? Whereabouts in London are you?
I mean, I'm not
Scream
exactly
dying
central
quickly.
London. I'm not central London. I'm southwest, so I'm around the Kingston, Wimbledon area of the country.
So how do you pronounce your name? Is it
I'm
Niamh?
Tennis there.
telling people where I'm based because I'm very close to the Wimbledon tennis place.
That's all you have to do. Now the world knows. The world knows. Wimbledon. Have you ever been?
How do you pronounce your name?
Niamh.
Niamh with a V?
I mean, it's spelled Niamh, as you can see on the screen, but it's
The funny thing about this was I actually mentioned you in a recent video, and I had to go on Google and say how to pronounce, and I've learned like before even pronouncing it, I had to learn the entire history through Ireland. But literally it's a 2-minute video, and I had to learn the history before knowing how to pronounce it.
No.
So-
There's videos on TikTok that actually told me about Irish names. So one of her name got mentioned in a TikTok video.
Yeah.
How to pronounce her name.
George
So-
is on it down below.
Yeah,
George
when you first
Tanner.
came on, Niamh, I'd asked you how do you pronounce your name because I wanted to get it right. And you said Ireland, but I didn't elaborate on that. So are you Irish in descent? Because
my mother is fully Irish, born and raised.
but your dad is British,
Is English.
British.
Yeah.
It's like genealogy, Pat.
I knew
Oh,
Rachel
God,
was
here
going
we
to go
go.
there.
I knew it.
And then the mic comes in. Here we go.
He loves the microphone. If you work
Oh
your
my
microphone,
God, I gotta
like that.
turn
Go,
down my
Rachel.
volume.
Good question, Rachel.
way to
Who
go,
are you
Rachel.
related to? Rachel.
So Niamh,
Thank you, Patrick. I love you.
So do you have
Thank you, Lisa.
do you have relatives? In
I love you
Ireland
too.
then, Still.
Yeah, I do. Basically my mother's whole side of the family are over there.
So you travel a lot outside of pandemic, back and forth to Ireland, or
Yeah, we used to go a couple of times a year to obviously see family, and obviously we can't now.
No.
How far?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I've told you before, I don't know the UK that well. How long a drive, or how do you go to? Do you fly to Ireland? Do you drive?
Yeah,
to Ireland?
because Ireland isn't part of the UK. Well, Northern Ireland is. It's a very confusing situation. Northern Ireland is part of the UK, but the Republic isn't. So we just fly over there whenever we. Or sometimes we get a boat, a ferry, which takes us overseas.
What county in Ireland now? That's the next question. Exciting, eh, Patrick?
What county in Ireland? Yeah, sorry,
Well,
I'm trying to
I'm
adjust my chair.
gonna
so it
leave
doesn't feel
now
like
that it's turned into where
Way to
about
go,
the world
Rachel.
we live in.
See?
No, I had to go anyway.
Yeah,
But
Jack's
thank you,
been on
Niamh.
since the
Thank you,
beginning. It was
AGK.
really great having
Thanks,
you, Jack.
everybody.
Bye.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for coming, Jack. As always,
Bye.
great to have you.
You know, somewhere it's somebody's bedtime, Archivist.
Is it mine?
Now let's move. some
Yeah,
people
you are
around.
elderly, though.
Well, you know, Jack. It is only 6 o'clock where Jack lives.
I might have to start soon because it's 11:15 in the evening.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're where you are in the UK. There, you're at 11:15 now, and you've been on for a couple hours with us.
Yeah,
I'm
so
glad you came. I'm really glad you came today. It was
it was really fun. Yeah, I'd love
and
to.
I hope you come again for sure. Definitely come
I'd love
again.
to.
And like I said, get that StreamYard, and you can have people on your stream and get some vinyl community members to come drop by your streams as well, because I know you have been doing some streaming on your own. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk to people while I'm.
Yeah, it's good to interact with the other vinyl community members, get what they're listening to, and
Yeah.
that's how I get into music, is through other vinyl community members.
Yeah, I mean, I have that on YouTube. You know, I got everyone in my comment sections giving me recommendations, and obviously this was giving me some
Yeah,
recommendations.
I was in your live stream the other day. You had like 200 people in your live stream, and I was like, "Hey,
I know
watch
you've done incredibly well. I think.
And then I was like, my comment probably got lost in the sea of comments you had. But.
Now, do you know, Niamh, from your live streams and from people that have commented in your channel, do you know if the majority of them are around your age, or is it all over the place?
I mean, I've checked my analytics. Most of my viewers are between the ages of 45 and 55.
Really?
Those are the people you were yelling about.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I mean, I do talk about a subject that no one really my age will be interested in.
Well, it's very true, Niamh. Most of my audience members are between the ages of 45 to 60. So,
hey, most of the people here wouldn't want to listen.
Yeah,
to
most
that
of the
stuff.
people
I love
it. Are between that age.
Well, that's surprising that I would have thought that just because your numbers have inflated so fast that I figured that a lot of your subscribers would be people in your age group that have, obviously jumped onto your passion for the prog, and you're inspiring people.
Well, she's got her dad in her videos, and they talk about prog, and there's people who like prog. They don't care who's talking about it. They want to hear somebody talk about prog. And,
I think the father-daughter dynamic is fun too.
And it's a different perspective.
I've tried. I've suggested it to my daughter. I've suggested it to my daughter since I started my channel, but she's just a little too chicken to come on cam.
Yeah.
But I've been working on her to come on because
I'm kind of lucky because my dad is very much extroverted and is very kind of good at talking in front of
people. At least your dad's open to doing videos. My dad just will do them on audio. He won't
and you're young and female, and you have a different perspective on prog that probably most people haven't heard. I mean, most girls your age do not sit there and talk about Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Sorry.
Nope.
I don't know anyone who likes them who is the same age as me. I mean, I'm 19 now, so I mean, I don't know anyone who's who go on about ELP for about 3 hours every day.
Yeah, a lot of
here's one. Now that you've become an ELP, and I was a big ELP fan before probably any of my friends that I knew. I was the one that brought ELP to my friends. Do you have a favorite? What is your favorite ELP song? Do you have an absolute hands down? You can say this is my favorite ELP song.
I mean, I have a favorite album, but I have multiple favorite tracks. But my current favorite song is the title track of Trilogy. Just the beautiful piano playing of Keith Emerson is something that I'm very much drawn to.
Trilogy is my favorite. Trilogy is my favorite ELP album.
Interesting.
I only own one ELP album, and it's a greatest hit. I got it from Goodwill. for $2.
Oh yeah, they did have a great. Is that the one with like the Oriental girl?
I don't know. Yeah, the Oriental girl on it. Yeah,
yeah. I forgot about that one.
I have that one. I saw it and I was like, ooh, I like this band. So I picked it up.
Yeah, for me, I started with ELP right from the first album. Lucky Man, Knife Edge, they just grabbed me. Tank, those songs just grabbed me, and I was a fan ever since.
I think someone just asked in that comment box there if I like One Direction. No, I really hate One Direction.
Well, One Direction history now, anyhow. Are they?
Yeah, I mean,
they like long gone now?
They were huge over here because they were on a reality, not reality, like a talent show contest.
Yeah.
I think
they were X Factor, weren't they?
X Factor.
Yeah. And this is shameful. I was a One Direction fan at one point in my life before I got into music. And
before I got into music, I was a One Direction.
I'm gonna do something shameful. I'm gonna do something shameful.
Okay, it's too hot. It's too hot up here for me. I gotta go.
My age might assume, you might assume that if I like my age and my gender, I like One Direction, but no, I really hate them.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and then Harry Styles has gone out on his own now, anyhow.
I respect Harry Styles a bit more now, because he's gone his own way. He's definitely separated from the kind of whole One Direction image. But the others,
I actually don't mind Harry Styles. I've got
Harry Styles. I bought this. It's a good single. I bought it. Yeah,
I bought that one before. Yeah, but I'd rather listen to Emerson, Lake and Palmer.
Yeah, I'll admit it. I have guilty pleasures, but I don't consider Harry Styles a guilty pleasure. I thoroughly enjoy his music.
Yeah.
And what's new with Rachel? Rachel's fairly quiet today.
I'm lumbering. I'm renovating my room. So I was just out looking at lumber, 3/4 inch birch plywood, 4x8 sheet, $50. Pretty cost.
So now you're redoing are you moving all your audio equipment and everything to this new location? Are you going to be broadcasting from a new location when you do your daily streams?
Everything. Oh my gosh, we're on a rocky boat. My rickets are. Oh, there's my little Welsh lady. They're close to Ireland, but there you go. There you go.
Are you in a different room now than you normally are in?
Huh?
Are you in a different room now than you?
No, I'm in my usual broadcast room. So what's happening? We're moving next door. The media. There, all that. Ooh, there's the Beatles down there. They're like Prog too. But anyway, so my that's all going. Ooh, Beatles plate. Oh, chickens that are like Beatles crossing a road, Lisa. So wood flooring's going in. We're doing a built-in. So we're taking it's an ersatz slapped together built-in system. So we're putting two high boy media towers on their sides, so them down. They roll out to about 10 feet. So we're about a foot shy on either side, a little less actually, a little over that. And then now you will stop that, Rob Walker. You will listen to Emerson, Lake and Palmer. And then the other thing is then I took my Ricketts, which used to be over here, but they were brown, right? They never did fit. So they're over there, and now they're primed up and they're white. And then on top of that, we go, and it's all going to be built in. The walls are going blue carpet on chocolate brown hardwood flooring, and a yellow rock and roll console for all that. I like Prog too. Niamh, my second favorite band of all time. I come out of the Beatles gate, so Beatles everywhere. There's Beatle box. Yeah. There's my Welsh flag. There's my Scottish flag. There's my English flag. There's my Irish flag behind the tent. These are all my nationalities. So I got family over in Port Stewart near Belfast in Northern Ireland, but my grandmother's from County Clare. My great grandmother is from County Clare in Ennis. And there's, you got that. And then, of course, my other great grandmother, she was from County Cork. And I know Deadwax loves hearing about my genealogy. And I've been to Blighty. There's Oxfordshire. There's my map of Oxfordshire. And then over here, we got Blighty. And we got Ireland, and over there behind the Beatles. And over here, up top there, we got Bleeding Essex. There you go, Essex. I've been there. So lots of fun. We love the UK.
But who is your other band, Rachie?
What's that? Oh, my second favorite band of all time, other than the Beatles, is YES. Yes. So big yes. I've seen them more than any other band. I've seen Yes 4 times, various incarnations of the band. And I like to rock. You know, oh, look, yet another Welsh flag right there. Oh,
I got a mug.
So of all your prog rap bands, Niamh, I know you're heavy on Yes right now, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, King Crimson, who Genesis, who's leading the pack for you right now? ELP?
ELP, yeah. Definitely.
And then after that?
Yes, I'm probably a tie between King Crimson and Genesis.
And I know you're a big,
climbing up.
You prefer the Gabriel Genesis to the Collins Genesis.
I think most people can say Peter Gabriel.
I look at the two Genesises as there's actually three Genesis. Well, there's actually, if you want to get technical, there's five Genesises, four Genesis, five. There's five renditions of Genesis. You have the very first album, the Genesis to Revelation. That incarnation made one album. Then, of course, you have the Gabriel years. Then you have the years where Gabriel left and Steve Hackett was still in it for a couple albums. Yeah. Then you have the Phil Collins era, and then the final one, the Calling All Stations with Ray, his face on vocals. So you actually have five, and I actually didn't mind that very last incarnation when they got the new vocalist. So when Collins left,
they had a lot of different singers,
and I look at them as different bands almost than being Genesis.
Rob Walker has advice for Niamh,
and that is
she should start a VC channel.
I think you're a little late on that. I think she's already done that for a month now.
Yeah, I mean, I combine talking about prog and talking about vinyl. So,
would you ever consider talking about like other genres of music besides prog? Like, is that in the wheelhouse?
Yeah, I mean, I was actually planning on doing a video that was my top 10 favorite non-prog albums.
Oh, and they would be any little spoilers there?
Definitely, you know, some Iron Maiden, some Sabbath, you know, probably some Beatles in there as well. You know,
I was just going to ask you because how are you on the Beatles? Is Beatles big for you?
I love the Beatles. I mean, my dad.
I don't think you really mention them that much in your videos that I've noticed.
I have the Beatles in stereo box set actually. I love them so much, and my dad actually saw them live.
Yeah, I asked my dad that question.
He saw them. I think 1965. He was a young boy at that point, but his one memory is he saw and heard the support act, but when the Beatles came on, he only saw them. He didn't hear them.
Why?
Because screaming.
Because of the screaming.
Oh yeah, that's why my dad said he didn't go to see the Beatles at the Hollywood Bowl because he couldn't stand the screaming of the girls.
It was like the very first concert I took my daughter to when she was 6 was Selena Gomez. And I took her to Selena Gomez. She had just released like her first album. And I took my daughter to see Selena Gomez. And the little girl screaming absolutely blew my mind. I could not imagine that a bunch of little girls, all in unison, 20,000 little girls, could make so much racket.
I mean, I went to this. One of my first concerts was, I think my first ever concert was Taylor Swift. So,
and that must have been a pretty screaming thing too.
That was pretty, because I went with my cousin, who at the time was a massive Taylor Swift fan, like massive fan, and they had an extra ticket, so they gave it to me. And I didn't really know much Taylor Swift music. I mean, I knew her hits, but I didn't really know anything else. And I could just see the people around me just screaming. I could not hear Taylor Swift whatsoever. I could just hear people around me screaming her lyrics.
I can imagine, yeah. Even when I took my daughter for her birthday, not last year, year before, because I keep forgetting it's 2021 now. I'm not used to it yet. Just, you know, the first couple of months of the year, you still think you're in last year.
Yeah.
When we went in 2019 to Ariana Grande, that was a loud crowd there to see Ariana Grande. That was a loud crowd. It wasn't that high-pitched screaming of little kids. It was mostly older teens, but still, boy, people going crazy.
I went to a concert that my parents were actually fighting about who was going to actually fall on the sword and take me to, which was it's a thing in the UK called the Capital Summertime Ball for the Capital radio station, which is all top 40 hits, and they get in loads of kind of mainstream pop artists to come perform at this one gig.
So it's like a festival with a whole bunch of acts.
Yeah, it's at Wembley Stadium, and I think One Direction were on the bill, Ariana Grande, all these kind of other British artists.
Ariana Grande, that's your favorite vinyl, Dale?
And I couldn't hear anything because I remember when One Direction came on, people were just shrieking.
Yes, I know that all too well. I've seen One Direction. I'll admit it. I've seen One Direction. I've seen them in concert.
Did you warn her about Manchester? Anthony, did you warn her about Manchester here?
And also Manchester. I warned her about the Peanut Gallery. Yes, I told her Peanut Gallery.
Don't worry.
They throw peanuts, but they're all fun loving. They're all
cool. Rob Walker's very nice.
Rob Walker is from Manchester, and Vinyl Dale, he's over in West Sussex.
I see Radiohead in the comment. I love Radiohead.
That's Christopher.
Intro to music.
Christopher's over in Fiji. Hi, Christopher. Christopher wants to know, Anthony, if you tucked Selena Gomez to sleep.
Huh?
What? That's so random.
Trying to help him with the questions from the Peanut Gallery. That's what he.
This is why I try to tend to ignore the Peanut Gallery as much as possible.
They're asking just the most random thing. Let's talk about Britney.
No, we're talking prog today. Today we have Niamh came on, so I thought we'd talk about, because we don't talk much about prog, so I thought we'd concentrate a little more on prog. We had Mark on earlier from Projekt Gemineye, who of course is a prog artist.
Yeah.
And I hope, Niamh, you check him out. Go check out his Bandcamp, check out his music. I think you'll like his music.
Yeah, I mean the cover art was incredible.
Yeah, that guy is like the Roger Dean of Projekt Gemineye. I can show you his albums here while Rach can entertain the troops while I go pull his albums.
Yeah, I'll entertain everybody.
I mean, I do own 3 prog artists in my collection: Pink Floyd, Genesis, and Emerson, Lake and Palmer. And that's it. That's it.
So Lisa, who's your favorite out of those 3?
I like Genesis.
Genesis #1, and you like the?
I like Pink Floyd, and I've been listening to a lot of Yes because people have been talking about it, so I will get some Yes eventually. I mean, I've heard of them in the past. I've just never, went and bought their albums. Like same with King Crimson, but I will eventually. Eventually, when
there's also VCLT. So
I'm actually getting some VCLT.
Maybe you'll get some Yes records.
No. They're sitting
this is for Niamh. These are Mark's albums. This is the first one, An Ordinary Day.
Oh, that looks great.
Now that one I got ordered.
All his albums come on various colors of vinyl. They're all beautifully pressed, high quality vinyl.
I think I got that one ordered. That's the one I just ordered.
No, this is the first.
Is that the first album? I ordered the second one. Yeah, I got the number 2
order. The first album is he's sold out on vinyl now, but he still has it on CD. He has all his albums on vinyl and CD.
Dang, I'm gonna have to go CD for Mark.
Yeah, second album, A Brand New Day.
There we go. That's the one I ordered up. How cool is that?
Second album, and that's great.
I like the space theme that he's got going on with.
And that's on a purple vinyl.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting. That one.
That's on a purple vinyl. And like I said, Niamh, he's very much, Rush is, huge influence on his music is Rush. So if you like Rush, I'm sure you will like Projekt Gemineye.
I do love my Rush.
And of course, Yes too. So then we have the third album, which is A Man of Science, Man of Dreams.
Yeah, I got that one.
You've got that one. And that one was on a green vinyl.
Oh,
yeah, he really goes all out with
the quality of the vinyl is fantastic. And his prices, like they're he should charge
They're very
more.
reasonable. The English pound will crush for those things.
Yeah, you'll get them dirt cheap, Niamh.
That'll be good. I mean, I'd love to check it out.
Affordable is good.
And then the fourth one, in the year 3073, Book 1, which was last year's album.
I got that.
And that's on a yellow.
Ooh.
I'm doing pretty good with my Mark Anthony K Projekt Gemineye.
Now I need to go check out his stuff.
And then his brand new album, of course, which is just on CD at the moment, is Book 2. And he has just started the pre-orders.
I got my pre-order done.
For the teal colored vinyl. He's taking the pre-orders right now. They are in the process of getting pressed very soon and shipped.
Yay.
So you can get them very easily. And of course, your British pound is going to be a joke for you to buy. Your British pound is going to go so far over here ordering albums from Mark.
Tell her also about Mark's other project, the Dark Monarchy, because
the Dark Monarchy is a
English lad.
Yep, it's a symphonic metal band that he is in also with a lad from the UK.
Oh, nice.
From your end of the woods. Let me just exit solo layout here. The Dark Monarchy, and that's a symphonic metal band who have released their first album. I'm just going to grab it here, which he is about to press on vinyl this summer. He is going to press it on vinyl this summer, but it is currently on CD as well. And this is the Dark Monarchy, and they are a co-Canadian UK production.
Oh, no.
So you can check them out. They have a Bandcamp page too. And the fellow that's on here is a UK prog artist. So you can check him out. Check out Mark's stuff. Great stuff. I think, Niamh, you'll like it a lot.
It looks like something I would enjoy, yeah.
I think you will. Do you like symphonic metal much?
I've not listened to much of it.
You don't listen to much of it?
I haven't really delved into it yet.
Because it's very almost, it's got prog influences for sure. It's kind of, I look at symphonic metal as sort of like prog and metal and opera also kind of thrown together into a bag and shaken up.
Currently it's I might have to pop off now because it's
it's getting pretty late over there. You're
very late over here. So
you've been here 2.5 hours, so that's really great.
Yeah.
And it was really nice to have you. I'm glad you came.
It was really great to be here. Thank you for having me on.
And you're welcome. I try to do one of these streams at this time every other weekend.
Okay,
so I hope you drop by on the next one. And if you have one, I'd be happy to drop by your stream too.
That'd be great.
Fun. And check into StreamYard and run some of these multi-streams too. I think you'll have a lot of fun with the multi.
I think it'd be great, yeah.
The multi-personality things adds a great dynamic to them.
Yeah, I think having 4 people on a stream is good.
And welcome to the vinyl community. Officially welcome to the vinyl community, and congratulations on all your success. And keep doing what you're doing. I enjoy your videos. I enjoy your look at prog a lot. I do watch all your videos. I enjoy seeing your dad too. He's fun. I'd like to get my daughter on my videos. I think it would be fun. But she's a little bit chicken, so maybe one day.
I mean, I've started up a series where I'm going to try and get my dad at least once a week on.
Yeah, it's good to see your dad on stream.
Because I mean, he's now like really big into it. I think since the first video, he's been like,
you can totally make it a series.
Yeah, and my daughter watches every one of my videos and she loves them. I just got to convince her to get in there too.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good when your family watches your videos. My mom watches all my videos too.
Yeah, my family watches all my videos. They love them, so that's great. And thank you for coming, Niamh. It was great to meet you and talk with you in person. And we'll do this again for sure.
All right.
Yeah, come back anytime.
Anytime, you're welcome. Always.
See you later. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. Bye, Niamh.
Bye.
I like her.
And that was Niamh. Yeah, I think she's great. That was Niamh the Prog nerd. Everybody. She's a great young lady, and
she's a lovely person. I love that.
She's a really nice person.
I love seeing younger people get into record. We should have more of them in the vinyl community.
Why don't you and Lisa, you and Rachie just entertain the troops for just a minute, because my dog is looking at me for her dinner.
Chris, we're doing.
It's that time. She's saying.
So, Rachel,
Anthony, where's my dinner in the bowl? So I better.
Are you going to get bookshelves, Rachel, for your new room?
Like CD and DVD. So Sue was just saying, will 7 inches be enough for a like a DVD? And I go, this is. I just learned this. 19 centimeters equals 7 inches. So, I told her no. At the very bare minimum, they would fit, but you want to have a little play there.
Yeah, you want to have a little bit of a gap when you, because
you got to have a little bit of play. So 8 is better.
Yeah, I watch those videos with people building built-in bookshelves, and they're nice.
Once once Anthony shuts down here, then I'm going to start up. I'll do an evening stream or an afternoon evening.
I just wanted to come in and meet Niamh because I think she's great. And so
I've been a big fan for about 2 weeks now.
I've been a fan. I'll admit the first video that she did, the issue with the vinyl community, is how I subscribed to her. I was like, this girl's got guts. I gotta subscribe to her.
So yeah, because I want to talk to Deadwax more about carpentry stuff, but
Deadwax does, yeah.
He may or may not show up. I'll tell you one thing, I was sure loving the Brother Brian show last night. Boy, was that funny.
Yeah, I was just in Macca's stream, and then Mason blew up on me, so I came here.
What? Mason blew up on you?
Yeah, Mason started calling me that blanking girl from California, and then Richard kicked him off, so I came here.
Now, why? What's happened with you and Mason?
Well, what happened was, I guess when he was playing music, he said I got a little too boisterous, and he wanted to hear his music, so he told me to shut the up.
Oh, he can be. He's starting.
Yeah, you know what happened, and then Macca told him, no, that's never ever happening again. You do it again, I'll block you. But yeah.
It's becoming a lot of drama over there now. Of course, this is
no. We were having a great live stream, but I think it got too much for Mason, so he took it out on me.
Oh my God, the sheer energy on that, I can't believe it. Well, we hope for good things. Hopefully those kids will be there. No, we want to show full respect to Anthony. It's his show. I don't want to run interference with him. I like it's a small community at the end of the day.
I try when I do live streams, I try to do it when no one's doing a live stream, so that way I could have but I don't do live streams as much as you do. I try to do them once a month just to check in with people and see how they're doing. Steve pops in a lot. He's good. You know Steve.
See, these guys, I like this prog band.
Yeah.
These guys are good. You like these guys, Anthony? They're kind of prog in their own way.
Yeah, in their own way.
Yeah.
Because they've got an aggressive energy.
I'm gonna have to start buying more prog. All these prog channels are convincing me to buy more prog.
You know what? Just do the music you love. Like do K-pop. There's 5 billion K-pop people.
Of course,
there's a whole world out there waiting to discover our very own groovy Lisa K-pop.
No, of course. But I mean, prog is not like 100% in my wheelhouse. But I show everything. I like to show a little bit of everything.
Yeah, Randy. Hopefully, I'll catch you later.
What? What is Rob saying?
Yeah, Randy's just being Randy. I just ignore. I ignore the peanuts in my streams.
Oh yeah.
Well, sometimes a man has got to do what a man's got to do, but a ma'am has got to do what she's got to do, and that means
we should get
laughing a lot. Anyway, she seemed like a lovely girl, and it seemed like a lot of fun.
I wanted to do cool. We did a mostly prog talk today because that was her wheelhouse. That was her wheelhouse, and
I wanted to ask her, which I did, if she's going to plan to show other music besides prog, because I want to see what other stuff she collects outside of prog. And I know she, as she said, I think, I don't know, if you weren't probably maybe here at that time yet. No, I wasn't. I was at
she does have the classic rock and the metal. She was into metal for a while. A lot of metal, Iron Maiden, Metallica, things like that. So she does, I know there's a lot of classic rock too in there. Her dad brings, I think, a lot of classic rock to the table.
Yeah, that's how I got.
She's not much for the pop. She's not much for the pop.
The pop is something I discovered outside of my dad because I grew up in the '90s. So I pretty
much discovered pop on my own too. Pop is something I could.
Pop is
I didn't discover really through any of my friends. I discovered pop pretty much on my own.
Yeah. Oh, the Rolling Stones I discovered through my dad.
Here they come. The Rolling Stones are rolling in.
I got into Rolling Stones because of my dad.
I've been on a real Rolling Stones kick lately. I've been playing a lot of Rolling Stones.
Yeah, I was playing Beast of Burden the other day. That's a good song.
That is a great song, and I like Bette Midler's version of Beast of Burden too, which was quite good with Mac. The video.
Well, I did get some stuff in.
Well, what did you get?
I showed a little bit of it earlier. Let me grab that other one over there. Hold on.
I'm serious. This Anthony should rename his house just Amazonville.
Oh, no, you should just.
No, actually,
Toronto home.
There was one Amazon thing, but I did a curbside pickup today from my favorite record store, and I meant to mention you because I didn't know if you wanted the Spectres or whatnot. You got to give me a shopping list for that.
Oh
store.
yeah. I'll get to that right now.
I went there, and basically, I picked the things from his search engine there. I give him a call. He puts them aside for me. When I get enough of them, then he just dumps. He charges them to my card, and then I drove up to the store and rolled down the window, and he chucked them in through the window.
Yeah, it's like some sort of mob deal. Rob Walker, you will never be ignored, you dear man.
So this
Rob's trying to get attention.
Yeah, this first thing is a CD because it's only available on CD at the moment. This is Albert Bouchard's, and you know who that is, Rachie.
Yeah, he'll be related to me.
Is everybody related to you, Rachel?
No, all the Bouchards are. If your last name is Bouchard, you're going to be.
Wait. Is it true that Beyonce's related to you, Rachel?
Yeah, it's true.
Reimaginos. This is the re-recording of the Blue Oyster Cult's Imaginos album that came out November 2020.
Very nice. I like this.
By ex Blue Oyster Cult member Albert Bouchard. Because Imaginos was his brainchild, and they were never happy with how Imaginos was released. So he re-recorded the entire album and released it in November.
Yeah,
so it's a completely
other band members have problems with that.
Yeah, so this is a re-envisioning of Imaginos. So I got that on CD. And then I got this little goodie here.
Oh, Dream, there is the one you're
yes,
talking
I know
about.
Dream Theater.
Yeah, the first 10 albums.
Wow.
Nice.
Holy smokes. How much did that cost you? I'm going to say $62.
I'm going to say 50.
65. For 10 albums, that's $6 a record.
Yeah, that was a really good price.
And most of Dream Theater stuff is not available on vinyl anyhow, so.
Do you know what I'm frightened of? Rob Walker and Vinyl Dale are becoming like the two old grumpy men in the old Muppets movie. Oh, we're making fun of all the act down on the stage.
They're the two old dudes in the Muppets movie.
Yeah, that's right. They're the two old guys in the Muppets movie. But don't they always get blown up at the end or something?
Well, they do. They have good one-liners, so they're funny. Everybody likes them.
So that's the only Amazon-y things that were recent. But I did do a little thing today. I dropped by for
roadside pickup.
Curbside pickup, and this stuff has been collecting up over the last month or so, and I finally
I can't make those ads like that. I would not watch that, Rob. I love Nazzy, but
first thing in the bag is
Dream Police. There you go.
Ooh,
Dream Police. That was the first. I needed to get all these things I had at one time, and I needed to put them back in the collection.
So so is that a box edition of that, or just a regular?
This is an OG, first Canadian OG.
Okay.
First Canadian. All these are, they're coming from my record store, so they're all OG Canadian presses.
Cool.
Yeah, I got the box
with the original liner.
Yeah.
So Dream Police was one, and they're all like minty good, like that.
Yeah,
they look.
That's the way you like them. Condition. That's the way we all like them.
Pretenders.
Oh
yeah, Pretenders, classic.
Extended play.
Okay,
this is the one with Message of Love and Talk of the Town.
Nice.
Okay. What year did that come out?
That was this was after their first album. This came out before their second album, between the first and second album. 1981. So it had a live version of Precious, Cuban Slide, and of course the two best songs on Pretenders too.
Yeah.
Message of Love and Talk of the Town.
That is awesome.
So there was that one. Then there was another one.
Oh, yeah.
Pretenders Get Close. Another classic.
That's a classic too.
Yeah, this one had, of course, My Baby, Don't Get Me Wrong, and the Jimi Hendrix song Room Full of Mirrors. Fantastic version of Room Full of Mirrors. I had this on CD at one time, but I never had it on vinyl. So nice to get that back in the collection.
Yeah, always nice to get those children back.
This is Bill Nelson's Red Noise. Bill Nelson, of course, the lead singer and guitarist of Bebop Deluxe, one of my all-time favorite bands.
So he's not one of the Nelson twins.
No, yeah.
No,
so this is one of his solo albums. Another one that I used to have a long time ago that I got back in my collection.
Now, Rob Walker has a question for you, wondering if you're going to be getting, when you get 1,000 subscribers, are you going to monetize at that point?
Oh, of course, why not?
Yes,
for
he
my
will,
record.
Rob. Okay, Max Webster.
Max
I like
Webster.
Canada's own.
Yeah, Million Vacations, another hole in my collection. Million
he's
Vacations, Max
great.
Webster, another classic
Yeah.
with, you know, Paradise Skies on here, you know, Million Vacations, Let Go the Line. And last but not least, released, oh no, sorry, one more, The Fix.
Oh, yeah.
And their third album, Walkabout, I think it was their third album, Walkabout, with the great single on it. It's even still got the hype sticker. Secret Separation was the big single off of this album.
Do you kids in the Peanut Gallery like The Fix? Let us know in the comments below.
Another 80s band. And last but not least, just released on Optical, the same Ear Music, the same label that, of course, dropped the Ladder album.
Yeah.
Right?
I picked
Those
it up.
fantastic pressings.
Very nice pressing.
They just released this one, Richie Blackmore's Rainbow, live in Birmingham 2016. Richie Blackmore's Rainbow. And this is a great, I mean, the track listing on this, it's got Deep Purple and all the classic Deep Purple and Rainbow tracks.
Oh God!
They are really throwing rocks at us.
And the Peanut Gallery is
Deep Purple.
What is up with the Peanut Gallery?
Rainbow.
A beautiful looking album cover. Boy, they're a tough crowd. Don't we have a tough crowd with us today, Lisa?
We do. They're saying that people only watch his Record Store Day videos.
Yeah, they feel that your
it doesn't matter. Like Record Store Day videos always get more views.
They always get views. I made one like 3 years ago and it got like 3,000 views. They always get views. Doesn't matter who makes them.
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't.
I got to do a Record Store Day video then.
Crazy video I made like almost a year ago in like March last year about the band and Rare Records is almost at 7,000 views now. Goodness knows why.
Yeah, that's tremendous though.
It's
crazy. It's crazy. 7,000
Flip
views.
the disc out there. Greg says, hello all. His move is complete. He's just decorating, waiting for a carpet, and then putting up shelves and reorganizing records. That's totally my thing. That's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah. Once you get it all moved in and get all your records on a shelf, that's the good thing.
Yeah, but
Rob Walker, why don't you come up on the stream? You know,
we know you can stream.
We know you can stream. We've seen it.
No, he comes on occasionally, but he locks up. He goes for a little bit, but then he tends to lock up. Tragically.
Well, we're throwing the line out there. You know, I'm going to be on stream for a little bit longer. We're throwing the line out there. We've had Nazz on briefly today, and then his Wi-Fi went poo. I swear, every time he won't watch the stream, his Wi-Fi cuts out. So we lost Nazz because his Wi-Fi died. We had Mark, of course, on early at the beginning.
Yeah.
With Niamh.
Well, it's a busy time for Mark. Yeah, you know, he's got that launch going for the vinyl portion of his show. So
yeah, but it was good. He came on, and we had Niamh. We had Jack's Trax on for a couple hours.
Yeah, so I was just here at the end of Jack's Trax. So
yeah, he's always fun. Jack's is great to have on.
He's cool, Jack's Trax. I like him.
He reminds me of a young Randy.
No,
I think we can all see that.
You know, Jax reminds me of a young me. He really does.
He does.
Were you precocious like that, full of vim and vigor as a young buck?
Huh?
Were you full of vim and vigor like him as a young buck?
Vim and vigor? How so?
Well, look at Jax. Hey, I'm Jax. How's it going? I got a record,
No, probably not. Probably not. No. I was always very quiet. What you see now is probably anxiety, Anthony. Most of the time, anxiety drives my speech.
Welcome to anxiety.
It drives my speech. The more anxious I am, the more I talk. Unfortunately.
Yeah, that's how it is with me.
You burn it off. You burn off anxiety. You burn it off by talk.
Rob Walker wants to know if you've seen his worst blind buy video. He did 10 records that were blind buys that turned out horribly for him. Bitches Brew being singled out for particular vim and vigor.
To watch it all. I only have seen the first half so far. I still got to finish watching it. But I saw, you got the Bitches Brew. I totally agree there, Rob Walker, about Bitches Brew. I don't understand that album in the slightest. I don't get it. I don't get it.
You and Rob are quite similar. I think Rob is the first to mention that, to admit that, and see that symbiosis. And Simon's here. And Simon also has seen better days.
And as I said, Rachel,
Robin.
is this the first time? I think this is the first time Rachel's been on one of my streams, is it not? Or
no, not the first time. I've been on a couple.
Well, I know you were on the inaugural stream you came on. I know.
What happens is normally on Saturdays when I'm doing my own record store buying, but I went out a couple of days ago, bought 4 records and got my shirt. I got the Joy Division. And then today I was out looking at lumber. I was looking at sheets of plywood for my shelving, because we got I'm building it piece by piece, bit by bit.
It's going to be really cool. You should document that for the vinyl community.
Rachel, why don't you go to Stunty's live shows? Why? Of course I will, but I can't be in 2 places at once.
Stunty came backstage on my show today, and I was going to let him on, and then he got all huffy puffy. And it's like, oh, I sat for 15 minutes. You didn't let me on. And of course,
Mason said the same thing. Mason said,
of course, I was worried. Well, Beetle Boy came right at the beginning, and I knew that once I let Beetle Boy on, I was
I
wanted to give Niamh the floor for the beginning of the show because it's her first time, and we wanted to answer some questions.
Yeah,
your channel,
I wanted to give her the spotlight. I wanted to give her and Mark the spotlight. I wanted Mark to meet her and I meet Mark because I thought that was a potential customer for Mark, in Niamh. To put it bluntly.
I understand because he went on to
Stunty, honestly, I was worried that he might come on. I had Jax on, who is of course 12, and
he could have nippled you or something.
No.
Yeah, exactly. And the last time I let Stunty come on the stream, the minute he got on, he was like, so.
No, it's a good thing that you didn't let Mason on.
But I have nothing against Stunty. I told him to behave, and then he got all huffy and left. So
yeah,
I got to consider. I try to have these shows be family friendly. I allow the younger guys on my channel to.
Yeah, because
I like these to be a family friendly stream. So. It's not Rachel's show, and Stunty.
Yeah.
Stunty can do that stuff at Rachel's show, and that's fine.
Yeah, I was watching his stream.
And it's nothing against nothing. I like Stunty. Nothing against him. I was just a little worried. I didn't want him to do something that because we know Stunty can pull a joke that not everybody finds.
Yeah, and plus you had Jack Track on there.
I had Jack and I had Niamh. She's 19 and Jack's 12. So I got to consider who's on stream, right?
Yeah. For sure.
Your stream, your rules. So, that's the way it goes.
Ban on Will's trying to come on today to Macca's chat. I told him not today.
Because ultimately, if shit happens on my stream with young people on my stream, it's going to come back on me. So I totally understand because today we had a live stream with Macca and Mason just went unhinged and we had to kick him off and we almost blocked him because he went unhinged.
Yeah, Mason started going off on me and started talking about how California is this and that.
Have you noticed? I don't know. Is it just me, or has Mason gotten a lot cruder since he's?
No, Mason goes on Macca's streams and he always tells Macca to shut up. And I
think he's trying to impress Ron Baudry, because Ron and his drinking Friday, baby, all that stuff.
Yeah, Mason's trying to be all talk tough, and the F word, F bomb, and the S bombs are coming.
Yeah.
And I remember back in the beginning when Mason first came on the streams, he was quiet as a church mouse, and now
but now he's kind of blossomed into
I'm not quite sure what.
There's a young kid out here. This Nazz guy goes, "Hi, Nazz isn't family friendly. He's a jerk." That's what Nazz says.
I love Nazz.
No, but Nazz is saying that about himself. I mean,
Nazz will come on his videos and poke fun at himself. Nazz is like that. He's a great guy.
I like Nazz. I've been watching him for 5 years now. I started watching.
Nazz is the first one to poke fun at himself. So.
Nazz always finds the greatest.
Nazz and I are a little bit on the downside. He and I have shared our little down punch in the gut moment yesterday and the day before because the golden earring situation. Well, golden earring, it was announced on Thursday that George Koymans, of course, who's the guitarist, the man who formed Golden Earring in 1961 under the name The Tornadoes, but George Koymans, one of the vocalists and lead guitarist, was very seriously ill, and they weren't sure on the future of the band. And it was announced it was officially announced yesterday by Barry Hay, the lead vocalist of the band, and confirmed by George that Golden Earring have officially retired as of yesterday, because George Koymans has been diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease and can no longer perform.
Yeah.
So he can't perform anymore. And of course, Lou Gehrig's, we know what happens with that. It's muscles and everything.
Yes. After like 6 or 7 months, you start to lose all your motor skills, or after a year.
He, unfortunately, George Koymans has got Lou Gehrig's disease and can no longer perform. So
how old is he now?
72. So not too old, but
no,
young. Barry Hay said, we've been together we made it 60 years exactly this year. We hope to do it. We had hoped to do a farewell tour after the pandemic, but we realize now that that's just not going to happen. They thanked everybody for all their support for 60 years, and but they have to officially hang up their hat because of George. So a little bit of a sad day for us Golden Earring fans, but of course they got so much music out there.
Yeah, they've been
and there's going to be releases and other stuff coming still. So, it's not like a drastic shock. I mean, all these bands are getting to the point where
they are getting to the age where they can't do music anymore. A lot of these artists are getting up in age. So
exactly.
That Paul McCartney sure can't. We know that.
Well, Paul McCartney's voice is kind of shot out now. I've noticed.
I kind of expected. I didn't really expect any new Golden Earring music in the first place, because their first album that they released in 1965 under the name Golden Earrings was recorded in The Hague. And exactly 50 years later, in 2015, they went back to The Hague, to the same recording studio in The Hague where they recorded their first album in 1965, and recorded an album called The Hague, which they released in 2015. So that was kind of a message. It was like the bookends to their career. Their first album in The Hague, their last album in The Hague, called The Hague. So I always looked at it as kind of the bookends of their career.
Yeah,
and then in 2019, they did release one more single on a 7-inch single, celebrating them to being together 50 years, with their current lineup being together 50 years. And I kind of figured that was the last thing. That single was kind of their goodbye single anyhow, as far as recording goes. Obviously I had the dream of maybe one day seeing them play, but that's about the only dream I maybe had, that maybe one day, some way, I would see one of their, because they continued to tour.
So Golden Earring is one you did not get a chance to see.
That's funny enough.
Ironic, because they're one of your favorites.
I figured.
That's the question, like Rob Walker question thing there. The one band that my favorite band, Alice Cooper and Golden Earring on any given day could trade off that #1 spot for me for favorite band of all time.
Yeah,
they both have the same number of studio albums in their library.
Wow, that's a lot of albums for Coops.
Yeah, he's got 26, number 27 in 3 more weeks. Detroit Stories.
Holy crap, man! Good for him.
4 songs I've heard from it sound incredible. I think it's going to be a big one.
Alice still sounds good. He sounds a lot better than Paul.
Yeah, I'll give you that for sure. He does.
So but Golden Earring, I never saw them. They only came to Toronto once, and when they came to Toronto, I was in Mexico, living in Mexico for 2 months when they appeared in Toronto.
I'm surprised you never saw them, because
that was the only time they ever came. The only time they ever came to Toronto. I mean, they have continually toured Europe year after year after year for the last 50 years. I mean, they do a concert every year in their native home, in the Netherlands. They sell out a stadium in the Netherlands every year, but of course, their reception in North America wasn't as big as it was in Europe.
Yeah, some bands are not big out here, so they don't play out here as much. But in European countries, they're big. Some bands.
So the only time Golden Earring came here, they came here twice. Once they opened for, I can't remember who they opened for, back in the 70s when they were promoting Moontan, and that was before I had discovered Golden Earring. And then they came back in the 80s, like I said, to Toronto, and that was when they were promoting the Twilight Zone album, the Cut album with Twilight Zone on it.
Yeah.
And I had met my first ex and was living for 2 months in Mexico, in Acapulco, when they were here. So I missed the only time they ever came to Toronto.
Yeah.
They've never been back.
So. Yeah, there's artists that I wish I could have seen, like David Bowie. I wish I've seen David Bowie live before he passed away, but I never did.
I got to admit, when I was reading the article last night on the internet about the official retirement, I got a little teary-eyed.
Yeah. Well, it's your favorite, right? I mean, one of your favorite, them and Coops.
I feel you about getting
and stuff when these people dying, you know, our old our generation. I mean,
he hasn't died. He didn't die, but it's it had that same kind of.
Well, he's on his way up.
Golden Earring have been with me as long as I've been with music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's weird. It's weird.
Yeah, we all get that emotional attachment to certain artists, and when things happen, you know, we feel it too.
And I've said many times on my videos and Rachel streams and whatnot that the one big thing, and I think in my interview with Rachel, is music for me, my record collection for me is like my diary of my life. Like I don't keep a written diary of my life like some people do, but every record in my collection, I can pull any record out of my collection and I know what I was doing when I bought that record. Like just, holding that cover in my hand, I'll remember what was going on in my life at the time when I got that record. I hope I'm making sense when I say that.
Of course. That's reflected by many people. Many people
certainly Golden Earring have been through my entire life, through all my ups and downs, and they've had albums all through the different. They're one of the few bands that have had an album through all the different stages of my life that I've gone through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Christopher Peterson says, I've tried and tried, but Golden Earring has never gotten to me. Give me a good song to start with. So you don't like Twilight Zone? You don't like, what's the other one?
Throw like
Radar Love? You don't like those? Those are great songs.
I'd say go listen to Vanilla Queen or something like that.
Radar Love.
Like
great
Radar
driving
Love.
band. Hard rock and driving band. They're great. Come on, kids, rock and roll.
Yeah, I had Ron Beaudry on my stream 2 weeks ago. He came on the stream, and Nazz and I pulled out a bunch of Golden Earring albums. I think we were picking our we each picked out 5 Golden Earring albums we would recommend to people that haven't tried Golden Earring. So Nazz picked 5, I picked 5, Ron Beaudry picked 5, and Ron secretly has a whole whack of Golden Earring albums. He has a whole
I don't think it's no secret because he likes Blue Oyster Cult too. We know Ron likes that, and they're kind of in the same vein. They're both hard rock and
wheelhouse. I'd put them in the same wheelhouse for sure.
Yeah. Anthony, you rock. It's good to thanks for having me on. And I think what I'm going to do.
Why wouldn't I not have my favorite Rachie on?
Yeah,
you're right. You're right.
Did you buy any records today? You said you were out shopping lumber, but did you buy any records?
No. I'm on my budget.
You normally do the Saturday afternoon record thing.
She's on her
budgeting.
And I thought about messaging you when I got to the store there about Spectres and whatnot, if you'd had done anything yet. So, and
I would have missed it because I actually left the phone behind, which I shouldn't have done because it would have been fun to photograph things for Sue, but we're getting it all together. We're excited
because if you do want any records from that store, I'm happy to just pick them up for you and then.
I do appreciate that. I'm going to take advantage.
And 2 months later, they might get to you.
Well, yeah, but the point is you get them, But yeah, I think I'm going to watch the purse strings a little tight for this month.
Yeah,
and thank you, Rob.
If you're buying all that lumber and stuff, exactly.
Because we still got a lot to do, and we got to get our guy to
home renos end up costing.
They do
a little bit.
They nickel and dime you to death on home renos because you get one thing and then you're like, oh damn, now I need this, and then it's like, oh damn, now I need some of this, and then it's like 10 trips back to Home Depot later. When you first started the project, you didn't think you were going to be making 10 trips back and forth to Home Depot.
No matter how carefully you plan, it's always like that.
Yeah, paint's going to be pretty expensive, and then you got to build all those shelves. That's probably going to cost you a lot.
The lumber, you got to get your lumber.
lumber.
Like I paint. We redid my daughter's room this past summer during the pandemic. She wanted to get out of the kids' room with the purple and pink walls and all that stuff. And she's a teenager now, so we did a whole new room for her, new lights, fixtures, and new everything. And it just nickel and dimed me. So it was like back and forth and back and forth and back.
Yeah.
And I ended up buying paint. And though you got to watch these paint stores, man. You got to watch these freaking paint stores because I went to Home Depot and they're like, what's the measure? How much paint do you need? What are your measurements? And I go, okay, this is our measurements of all the 4 walls. right? We don't have to do the ceiling, but we need to do all 4 walls, blah, 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 blah. This is the measurement. So they're like, oh, you're going to need this much paint, right? Because they figure it out, right? You're
Yeah.
going to need 2 coats, at least 2 coats. You're going to need this much paint. So I buy the paint they recommended, used half of what they told us to buy. Have an entire gallon that didn't even get freaking opened at, whatever freaking
that
$30
totally
or
happened.
$40 for the
It's
gallon.
okay to have a quart left over. It's great for touch-ups, for banks.
Yeah, I
Somebody
had a
can go
whole
while you
freaking
go out,
gallon. I had a whole freaking gallon and a little bit.
Yeah, you don't want a
I
gallon
think
over.
they
Like a
missed-
And they
quart is
don't, and of
great.
course, because it's mixed, they don't take paint back.
No,
Once
you got.
once you have a custom color, you're stuck with it. So I got enough to paint a whole room sitting in my,
Maybe you can paint another room with that color. I don't know.
Anthony, I love your decor because I'm all about decor, and you're so great with your background and your video shoots. One of the best in the VC.
Yeah,
The
you have.
posters, you got posters. It's media. It's fun. It's totally what you want to do with.
It's
these
funny
things.
because this is kind of the man cave or whatever you want to call it that I had probably wanted for 50 odd years. And finally, when I moved into this house, was able to.
Yeah,
to do
the
what I
only
want.
thing I would do different if I were you, I would have put a bar in there.
Yeah, but I don't drink, so.
You put a bar in, yeah.
But I
that'd
do
be
have a
cool.
bar. I have a mini bar.
The little mini bar will work.
You never seen my
Anyway.
bar? Have you never seen my bar? Let me take you to my bar.
Oh,
All
you
let's
got
go.
a little bit of
Before I go, I'll take a tour of the mini bar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll take you to the bar. The
All
bar
right.
is actually over here in the hall. The bar is over here. So we leave the main room here, right? So
See, look at how gorgeous
we
that
got the
is.
staircase. We got the staircase.
Yeah.
And then in this here, this door leads to the laundry room, furnace room, all that jazz. This is a washroom in here.
Yeah.
Little washroom in here.
Okay.
All
Let me
right, I
see
got a
it.
washroom in there.
Oh, you got
So
some
then-
posters in there too.
Yeah, I got posters in there too.
Oh, somebody's messaging me.
And then here, look,
Hey,
we
is
got-
that Lisa? Is there a picture of Lisa up there? Is that
No.
Lisa?
that's my daughter.
Oh,
Okay, I thought it was
That's one of
our
those things they
Lisa.
draw for you.
okay, I gotta
Walt
go. I
Disney
got
World.
something I gotta deal with right now.
That was one of those things.
Uh-oh.
that Walt
I
Disney
hope
World.
it's okay. Is it Mason? I'll take care of it
No,
for
no,
you.
no, 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 no. It's Richard messaging me about something. He wrote a
Okay.
really long message.
So here's the
I'll
bar.
talk to you guys
Okay.
later.
I'll try and fix it. It's
Here's the bar. So,
Richard.
as you can see, I've got a fridge here.
Drama in the VC.
So I've got a fridge here with my I keep my cold drinks.
Look at that.
So there's my fridge. And then over here on this,
I'm all
table,
into this.
this
yeah.
actually came out of my father's yacht. We used to have a 36-foot cabin cruiser. And this was the bar. This folds up. I can't really do it right here.
Yeah.
But this here,
It's like a tea
you pull
wagon.
this out. It's all made out
Yeah.
of teak. It's all made out of teak.
Yeah,
pull
for
this
the
out.
ocean environment. Yeah.
And then you pull this down. It's got a roll
Oh, yeah.
down.
That's what I'm talking about. Brother Brian would approve.
There you go. There's my bar. It's got places for the glasses.
Holy smokes. Look at that. Lamb's
there-
Navy
no, I
rum.
do
My
have a
God,
bar.
that'll kill you.
I do have a bar.
That Lamb's Dark Navy rum. Oh my God, is that stuff brutal?
Yeah, well, you want to see. You want to see what? Where is it? Where's it gone here? Where the heck did it go? Oh, right here. I brought this back from Jamaica.
Jamaican rum, man. Oh, you got to move over to your chest. Appleton Estate. Rare blend, 12-year-old Jamaican rum, man.
Direct from Jamaica. So this is that
Oh, yeah.
151 proof shit. You know what I'm talking about. And this
Wow.
one came from Cuba. This one came from Cuba. This is Cuban rum.
This is what makes Randy jealous because he wants to go to Cuba. But as an American, it's his
And this one
limitations
came
are on
from
there.
Mexico. This one came from Mexico. All my rums I brought back. All my booze I brought back from places. That shows you how often I drink. Because this 12-year-old rum is probably aged about 15 or 16 years now.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
You see, I do have a bar.
No, it's really nice. I like that. I'd go over there. I'd have a few drinks. Sarah, you need a pool table.
Yeah, I wish.
That is the 70s. That was the deal. I have a pool table in the basement.
So we're coming
Chris-
up on 3.25 hours on my stream now.
Yeah.
And I don't know how long Rachie wants to hang around, but if she's going to
well, I was going to go share. I was going to start my own stream in a bit once you were done.
Start your own stream. Okay, well, that's fine. I don't mind signing off. I got records to listen to. I might even pop by your stream. Who knows?
Yeah, do that.
Thank you, everybody, for coming on my stream today. It was a good one. Thank you, Niamh.
Yeah, thanks for
coming.
hosting us.
Niamh the Prog Nerd. Thank Jack Trax Records. Thank Nazz Nomad. Thank Mark from Projekt Gemineye. Thank Groovy Lisa. And thank you, of course, Rachel the Music Ma'am. It was another fun stream. Thank you all for coming.
Anthony. I'm happy. It was really good. Thanks. Take care, everybody. Yeah, I'm just
going to see you all in that next one. I try to do one of these streams this time every other weekend at this time. Is my stream time.
Rob says, bye, Anthony. It was great fun.
Nice to see you, Rob. Nice to see you, Christopher, Nick Penzetti, everybody, Dead Wax, everybody, Stunty, everybody that came. Thanks for coming. As always, love you guys.
Harris Bilton. Take care, everybody.
See you on the stream.
Bye, Christopher. Bye, Dead Wax. See you in a bit.